I think the intro is going. Oh, it's probably 30 seconds.
Hello, how's everybody going? We're just sitting here listening to Tino talk about him being the favorite child of his home. So,
David and Angel.
So real quick, guys, this is our regular. Every Tuesday we do this. Let's just talk with us three, and because it's a holiday week, we said let's get our wives in here, and so we don't know what we're doing. We're just doing it. And we're out of the podcast room. We're here in the lobby, and we try to do our best and trying to just give you guys some quality. But first, we have a few different camera setups. So, Tino, if you want to introduce your wife.
Yes, well, everybody knows what's up, everybody. I'm Tino, and this is my wonderful queen, Mickey. We've been married for 25 years. We have 4 children. I've done the intro before, but since she's here, I get to do it again. So happy that she's here. Mickey like the mouse. That way you don't get it confused with Nikki, but Mickey. Say hello.
Hello. This is my first time doing anything like this, and I'm the quiet one out of the two of us.
Oh,
he doesn't say that, but
here we go.
Oh my God.
All right, so on my right-hand corner, we have my brother Angel, my sister-in-law. So I don't know if you want to introduce.
Well, I'm Angel. This is my wife, Diana. Tomorrow we are celebrating 25 years.
25 years.
Tomorrow. And just excited to be here. excited to be here with my wife.
I
And
know, this is very nerve-wracking. Like you were saying, it's very different because everything's always on, you're speaking in camera, and I'm always the one watching everybody. And it's kind of nice to be up here this time.
see, I get to critique her now.
There you go.
Well, you get
That should be
critiqued.
fun.
I get critiqued every time.
All the time, every time. Well, what'd you say? Did you really say that? Especially, when you come up with like TV shows that we watch that are not appropriate sometimes, and he's mentioning it on camera.
I
I'm like,
preach
"You
about Yellowstone.
do- You do too. I said, no.
See, I told you.
I know he'll say certain things. I'm like, now someone's gonna play that song, that bad song, just to listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna go on a binge for the next 90 days of listening to Eminem.
Trash. No, not Eminem. I like that.
I'm mad at him right now.
So I'm pretty sure I don't have to introduce Sharon because she's always on here with me, but is my wife Sharon, and
We're the less married for many
The least
years.
married?
The least married. Yes.
But how many
How
years?
long has it
I
been?
know.
Gosh, we're going to be going together for a decade, but we've been married 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
7
Nice.
years.
Completion.
Yeah, a whole decade. You guys have known me for a whole decade now. Is that
Wow.
crazy? Time flies.
That is a trip.
I know.
So that-
It feels just like yesterday, though.
So that would have meant Abraham was how old?
Abraham was going to be 12 years old.
He says 11, I say 12.
Well, he was going to be. He
was
was barely
11.
on the verge. He was.
Right?
Well, we came
He
in
was
April.
little.
We came of April. And his birthday was in May, so he had just turned 12. I think that's what it was.
He was so little.
He was little, and look at
Little.
him now. He's a grown man.
Camera on you guys now.
I know. So, but I know it is nerve wracking because I remember when David first put me in front of the camera, I did not know what to do. My hands were all sweaty. I was like embarrassed. I'm like, what do I say? What do I do? But I love being, next to him and being able, and I would do the same thing. Why would you mention to people that were watching that? Why would you say that, even though I'm the one right next to him watching you?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
I think it's cool because people want transparency.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to know. What are
I'm
you
his
guys
ride and
watching?
die.
Yeah.
We do everything together.
This is what we do.
Yes.
So normally, we just talk all kinds of crazy stuff. But today, I just thought it'd be good if we talked about family. Threw our kids under the bus for a little bit because that's always fun.
Yeah.
Always many stories.
Do that?
Holidays. I know you were venting right now about the holidays. So let's start there.
Okay. So, obviously we're doing this because it's Thanksgiving. And so obviously we're going to go around and we're going to give what we're thankful for and we're going to do that stuff. But one of the things that I was venting about was that Halloween finishes, and then what the stores do is they go right into Christmas. And I've been saying this for years, and I mean, she's heard me talk about it. She's probably, oh, here we go again, and this and that, and whatever. But it's just sickening because, I mean, November 1st, there's Christmas lights up. You're driving, it's November 3rd, and you're driving by, and there's Christmas trees up.
But this is Modesto. People don't take their lights off all year long.
But even Mickey was like, Mickey says, can you please get my, I put all of her decorations and the tree in the attic.
Yeah.
So she's like, can you get my Christmas decorations down? I said, yeah, I will. And then like a week will go by. Did you get my Christmas? No, not yet. But I'll get them. Because the day after Thanksgiving, on Friday, this Friday as a matter of fact, I'll be up in the attic
On
getting
Black
that
Friday.
stuff. Yep.
So there was one year, maybe like 3 years ago, Grinch. He didn't take my decorations out till like the last week. He kept saying he was going to do it. And I don't know what happened that year because I wasn't as anxious to put them up. So I don't know if it was a rough year. I can't remember the details. But it was like or else I would have said before, like, get them out, right? Like, I want them. But I just let it go. And it was like the last week, and I thought, I don't even think I'm going to put a tree up this year. And the kids were like, Mom, we have to have a tree. We have to do this or that. So we did end up putting it the last week, but it was dreadful because then a week later, we had to take everything down. So, yeah,
And we didn't do
needless
that.
to say, we still don't have the Christmas tree up.
No, because it's Thanksgiving. And the reason being is what gets me upset is that these Americans want to be able to be all about the getting instead of the giving. Give thanks.
That's the root of this.
You skip. This is my second favorite quote unquote holiday of the year. Obviously the resurrection, because I'm very holy. That's the best holiday, right? But then the second one is this one because, man, I get to give thanks, man. And like, I'm not trying to sound all sappy, but like, I'm very grateful, man. You know
Well,
what
what's
I'm saying?
interesting
So
though,
you're saying they skip.
Yeah,
They skip this,
yeah.
but what's
Giving
interesting
thanks.
is he's really standing up for Thanksgiving.
Oh, here we go.
He don't like the dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
So,
doesn't
I'm
care
making
for
shrimp.
turkey.
I'm making shrimp cocktail for Thanksgiving.
Why? What?
I just don't like it. But it's because of my mom.
That's a lot
it's
of people.
it's because of my mom. My mom dried out. I could say that because she doesn't watch this. My sister might dime me out though. But
She
she's
may not be the favorite after this.
She,
You know
oh,
that.
always
Oh,
that.
she'll always
She's dying pretty soon, so we're gonna end up going to bed with that. But the thing about it is like she used to dry that thing out, and it was like eating wood. Yeah.
That's why you have to put cranberry sauce with it so that it's not so
A lot of
dry
people tell me gravy.
or gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
gravy.
that's the way you
It's
make
gravy
it
on
from
his
the
mashed
beginning.
You gotta put a lot of
That's
butter.
true.
So what I do is I would throw lime and tapatio because I mean if it don't taste good after lime and tapatio, it's just no good.
Everything tastes good on
Why
lemon
do you think they
tapatio, though.
call them butterballs? The butterball turkeys. It's because of the way they brine it.
Yeah.
Right.
the
Oh, well,
beginning.
we learned a recipe of brining this year. I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna try it, but I
It's
guess
so
not.
important when you brine it.
Did you see people exploding turkeys though when they were deep frying them?
Yes.
You see what
Exploding.
Empty Tomb, man. What's up, man?
Empty Tomb, Julio,
Julio.
Si Se Puede. Who else is on here? Moonlit.
We said hello to
And
Felipe.
like what he says, it's not Thanksgiving.
It's
That's
not-
right.
that's
That's
right.
not Thanksgiving.
Oh.
It's Thanksgiving.
Maria Madrigal's on here.
Hi,
Panchita Villa.
sis.
All right.
But
Do you
I
wanna-
I
here's the
want I
comments.
wonder. I'm just out of curiosity. The reason why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm wondering if it has to do with the turnover the last probably, for me maybe 10 years that I've heard this, is this negative thought towards like the pilgrims who got here.
Yeah,
and
I
the
think that's what it
abuse.
is.
I think that's what it is.
Is America has been shamed. Here we go. Runa.
I know.
No, let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
America has been made to feel ashamed of everything that it's done.
Everything. The whole country.
And
yes.
because Thanksgiving is an American holiday, so I think people downplay it because it's politically incorrect to celebrate Thanksgiving in a sense.
Yeah. Christopher Columbus Day is not it. That's not
Yeah.
celebrate. It's not even heard of really anymore because of that.
Yeah. So
Do you think that it has to do too because they kind of stopped teaching so much in the schools too? You know, they're no longer teaching history the
Well,
way
for that
they
same
used-
reason.
Yeah, they no longer stopped teaching it in schools the way that they used to teach in schools. I think they don't emphasize on a lot of things for our children anymore. You know, they stop teaching cultural things. They stop teaching history the way they used to teach it. I don't see kids coming home doing the arts and crafts, you know, during the holidays the way they used to do it. They don't do it anymore. Kids used to come home with
Yeah.
a lot of detailed crafts, you
I
know,
did.
for the holidays.
Yeah.
I know I did. I know my children used to come home with a lot of that, but I don't see kids come home with that anymore, like the real detailed stuff the way they used to do it. And they don't emphasize on that. Now they come home with just a little crayon colored little thing and that's about it. So it makes me really, really, truly wonder, are they really emphasizing a lot on teaching them, you know, the culture and the history of stuff?
Like think about it. When we were kids. Do you remember making the pilgrim hat?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the feathers?
Yes.
Of course.
All of those
Now
things.
that would be culturally
That'd be
misappropriating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so
That'd
it's
be
all
racist.
of these hot button, hot topic,
Yeah.
cultural issues that I you know, and like I said, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's even the 4th of July, it was really cool. We were in Sacramento, and we went to
This past year?
this past 4th of July, and we went to where the River Cats play in Sacramento. And so we were just walking. We're like, oh, cool, it's a stadium. Let's see what it costs to go in. It's a couple bucks. So we went in.
It's right there by Phyllis's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, right by the Golden Bridge.
Right there by Old Sac.
And so right by Old Sac. And so we're just there. We're sitting there, and then it starts, and then they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and the stadium was full. And I'm looking around, and everyone's wearing actually red, white, and blue. And then they did the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone just goes crazy afterwards.
And you did see people with their hands over their hearts.
Yeah.
And you did see men
Oh
with
yeah,
their hats off.
everyone's hats
To
came
give
off.
honor. It was
Very
beautiful.
good. Yeah, that is very good.
And then they did 30 minutes or 20 minutes maybe of fireworks
Yeah.
to music, all in with like patriotic American music
That's cool.
the whole time. And so they had them synchronized. And it was the coolest thing because you just don't see that anymore. There's no
Yeah,
pride in that.
I think this is that I get it because there's people that have treated others wrong. I mean, it goes back and forth. It goes all the way. Like we'll be like, oh, Chicano pride, but we're the ones that kill each other the most.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with the Aztecs. You know, everybody's like Aztec. Don't you realize the Aztecs like dominated all the other tribes, and most of us that are Mexican are probably don't have Aztec blood.
They were abusing your ancestors.
Yeah, it was us that were enslaved by them. So it's like, at what point? I mean, the fact is this: everybody, every nation, every tribe, everybody has done somebody dirty.
Yeah.
You know. So what are you gonna do? Not celebrate nothing?
But that's
Yeah.
so. I mean, Officer Tatum, right? I got to take this from Officer Tatum. You know what, man? That's all fine and dandy. So it's time to look at the camera for this one. That's all fine and dandy about what history was, but we don't know none of it. We get to live in this, and this is the greatest country there is. And you know what, man? Whatever happened in the past, I get it. Whatever's going to happen in the future, I get it. According to the Bible, it says that there's nothing new under the sun. So, hey, man, whatever it is, it is. You still get to be grateful, man. Be thankful for that. You know what? Today, I got breath. You know what, man? For all these people, we deal with a lot of people who deal with addiction, right? And the thing about it is, hey, man, you got to be grateful for the one day.
Yeah.
Be thankful for the one day. People are like, man, I can't wait till I get to 10 years. Hey, bro, you know what? That's great and all, but let's get through that one day. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, I get it. A bunch of junk has happened in our past that we never saw any of.
None of us were there.
We all grew up in this. And like you said, if we saw it, hey, man, we were probably a part of it. And you know what? Our environment is where we grew up. That's where God allowed us to grow up. Hey, you know what, man? Another thing for me to be thankful for. I ain't there anymore.
Yeah.
I get to say what's up and then drive away.
We get to continue to create history for our future
Right.
as of right now, you know, and we have to remember that, you know, there is history now, but what about for our future is the history as of right now. We have to continue to create that. And if we don't, what history are we going to create for our future? You know, and if we don't create that history for our future children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, then what are we doing? You know, and that's
Piggyback, is that how you say it?
Piggyback off it?
Piggyback off of that. That's why it's so, like, I was reading the other day how important it was for the parents of the children of Israel to tell what God has done for them in the past.
absolutely.
good.
Tell your child, you know, with Ezra, God is good, mijo. He's so, and to tell him stories of, you know what, one time me and Dad had no money for Christmas, and JD and Sonia gave us $100, and we were able to give you Christmas, and you know, like God is good. But yeah. Always continue,
Well, you
tell
know,
the
see what
stories.
empty-
Brother,
And those stories
huh?
are
See what
so
Empty Tomb
important.
said?
History.
Yes.
Well, no, but Gabriel and Tiriano said Philippians 4:4, rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice.
Amen.
Empty Tomb said, y'all know that Kamala was rocking that Indian hat.
But you
Oh,
know,
Carl
That is
Vila,
funny.
Gerald,
What?
see you, Cholo Trucker, see
Empty
you.
Tomb guy.
God bless you guys.
Solo trucker.
but let's use a theological context here as far
Okay.
as just scripture.
Okay.
Because you guys were talking, I didn't connect this in the beginning, but if you take Romans 1
Okay.
and you take that spiral down
Yeah.
of Romans 1. And if you have it, probably around verse 4 or 5, maybe farther down, maybe 7 or 8. But anyways, it goes down this spiral of things that, all the way down to this, man be with men, women be with women, and all this stuff. But before that, the first thing it mentions, it says, for they were not thankful. And
See,
so when you
my eyes
take
are so
the thankfulness out of the heart of a people, like what right now we've gone through deconstruction of our country, history, culture. It's this deconstruction, but they don't know what to reconstruct in its place.
Yeah.
And it's left this void. And I never even thought about it until you were just saying this, but dude, they have ripped out the thankfulness out of our young generation, trying to, and I think just that place of being unthankful leaves you, it rips hope out, and you can't have faith without the foundation of hope. And so, faith is the something hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. And so if they try, what they're trying to do, I don't know whether they meant it on purpose or they knew what they were doing. When you rip that out, dude, it's the fabric of everything. I know even with just, our older boys coming out of public school when the pandemic hit, there was a lot of things that they didn't know. I think you and I had a conversation about this, just our kids, of, well, how do you feel about this, abortion? How do you feel about this? Or how do you feel about that? And then the stories of now sitting down with our kids and them telling us how they felt and then going, that the doctor told us to abort you because, Justin, they thought you were going to have Down syndrome. They thought you were going to have what else?
No, it was one of his lungs wasn't going to develop properly.
But there was also something else.
And possibly a hole in his heart.
Yeah.
That we went to go double check.
Yeah, and they their recommendation was abortion to delete him. And we were like, dude, we're not doing that. He might be weird, but he's still ours.
He's perfect.
Right, Justin?
Identical copy of him.
He is perfectly weird.
Man, my nephew Justin cried for a year straight.
Ooh.
A year straight.
No joke.
For real.
No joke.
A year straight. This one.
The first year of his life.
Holidays, everything, we'll throw him in the furthest bedroom.
He just stopped 2 weeks ago.
That's my whole thing about that's why, and like I said, this isn't something new for me. This isn't something that started this year. This has been going on for a few years, of where I can't stand it. And everywhere I go, like I said, it goes Halloween, Christmas.
But
So I think the thing that isn't fair in a sense is, so Tino had a job where all they did was play Christmas music, and it was his worst job ever. And so because of that, he doesn't like listening to Christmas music. And on our way to church, actually on Sunday, our youngest was saying how much he loves music, and it doesn't matter what type of mood he's in. As soon as it pops on, he gets into it, just makes his heart happy. And Tino's like, I hate Christmas music. I'm like,
he turned green.
yes,
They rip out
exactly.
thankfulness from you.
Maybe it's them.
Yeah, but I'm like, we should play. I like Christmas music. I'm like the complete opposite of him in so many.
Oh, she goes crazy with Christmas movies. I leave her alone for a month.
I love everything Christmas.
It's time
I'm
to
not.
watch them. It's
Yeah.
our only
I don't
time
watch
of the year.
Christmas movies.
Yeah, when after
minute.
Thanksgiving Charlie Brown shows,
And there's a lot of them.
it's all Christmas music at the house,
I
Christmas
rewatched them
movies at
over
the
and
house.
over.
You said that it's our only time to watch them. I see. I mean, that sounds good, but that's not true anymore. We have streaming. Yeah,
You can watch Christmas all year long.
You can watch Christmas. Look at Hallmark. Christmas in July.
I watched them. I
heard
watched
about
them
that.
all the time.
But I will say
Oh,
this,
yeah.
back to the very beginning.
That's my thing with it.
I believe Christmas decorations should come out the day after Thanksgiving.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm totally with
So
that.
pound, boom.
Boom, blow it up.
And just for the record, he does absolutely nothing as it pertains to Christmas decorating.
Me either.
But I do agree with him on one thing, that I believe that that if you go into the department stores, if you go into the stores, if you go into places, they have forgotten about the holiday, that you don't find the decorations anymore for, you know, Thanksgiving. You don't see that hardly anymore. It's scarce, you know, and it's almost like they have, you know, skipped, you know, a holiday. You don't see very many things you see it for fall, but not for Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know, it's just not there. It's not celebrated as much anymore, and it's just not there. I don't think I think Halloween is celebrated a lot more.
Oh,
you see
yeah.
so much more for Halloween than
Department
what
stores.
you do for Thanksgiving. I see a small, tiny little
Yes,
section,
me too.
very tiny, small section for Thanksgiving than what you do for, you know, I see more basters and more things for turkey, you know, to make a turkey than what you do for Thanksgiving. And I would love to see more things available for Thanksgiving, because we need to bring back the community, bringing the families back to the table, and bringing that back into a home, because that's what it was about. It was bringing family back to the table and being it's the communion and bringing that love and bringing family back, and I believe that that's what's missing. It's really missing. Just
You
you
hear
know,
more about Black Friday than you do actual Thanksgiving, right?
exactly.
Shopping and
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what it was about, and that's what's missing nowadays is families coming back to the table and doing that and having.
I don't
that-
know if that'll ever be though. I don't think like I don't think the kids now understand what it was like then when it was holidays. I don't think so. You know, like
Social media changed it.
everything
yeah,
changed. Like
I
okay,
miss
I'll give you an
that.
example.
I miss it.
Pretty good.
I'll give you an example. Like when we grew up, nobody traveled in our family. So I remember my brother, when Ruben got married, their honeymoon was San Francisco. That was a big deal for our family.
Oh, yeah.
And we all sat around on his way back so he can tell us how San Francisco was. And me and my brothers and my parents all sat as my brother brings his new wife, and we want to know as if they went to France or something. And we would always do that. Or somebody would go to Yosemite, or you guys went to LA, like, and we would sit around as a family and we wanted to hear everything, how it was. And now, like, you know, my daughter just got back from New York. Like, or she'll message me and be like, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm in Hawaii right now. Or, you know what I mean? It's just like, I remember Chris went to Germany,
To
and
Germany.
it's just like, it's not the same.
yeah.
But you did. I don't remember. Maybe you could, because you would. I was at the time he got married. I was 6.
Uh-huh.
So, do you remember hearing any stories of him stepping on poop and pee in San Francisco? No, the homeless.
No.
I'm just curious.
No. That's when San Francisco was nice.
So I will say this though,
But it was
to
a tourist
piggyback on
attraction.
that right there
Yeah.
about being around the table. So this only happened a couple years ago, but so up here in Northern California, it's all my in-laws. It's all Mickey's family up here, right? And so I have 0 family up here.
It's your family too.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
No,
saying. It's not my.
I understand.
It's not
you
my
because
blood relatives.
My
okay?
my family
Except
is
for
over
my
there.
the
I
only
get
blood
it.
relatives I have up here are my own children. That's it. Okay. So the reason why I say that is because you're saying about sitting around and listening. I told Mickey, I said for Christmas and I don't know if I said for Thanksgiving, but I did say for Christmas. We would always wake up and then we'd leave and we'd go to my in-laws, right? Wherever they're having it, whether it be my mother-in-laws or my sister-in-laws, whatever, wherever they have it. And I told Mickey, I said, from now on going forward, I want our own tradition. So, like, I know for Christmas, the last, 3 years or so, something like that, Mickey wakes up in the morning and then she just starts cooking breakfast. And then for Christmas, and then the kids, wherever they're at, girlfriends, whatever, they all show up at our house, and then we all sit around the table, and then we have table time. You know what I'm saying? We just crack jokes. In my house, it's a bunch of. She's the only woman, the only female,
I love it.
and so it's just a bunch of trash talking. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I don't have little guys. I have a bunch. My youngest one is 15. So I mean, everybody just goes. So that's what I wanted for my family, is I wanted to start doing our own thing, so that way they know that no matter what else goes, because you know what, my children are getting older, and eventually they're going to start getting married, and they're probably going to marry a girl from up here, and then they're going to, we're going to start with your family, and then we'll end with mine, or vice versa, or whatever. But no matter what it looks like, you're going to start with us. And so that's the one thing. And then because Mickey and myself are who we are, it's always, and them just being who they are, it's always this, start their day off with God. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things for me and my family is like, you know what? Let's give thanks. What did Christian say last night? He was taught something. What were we talking about? We said something about God, or we asked a question and Christian answered about God. And I said, are you just telling...
What's the most important thing in life, I think, or something like that.
And yeah, what's the most important thing in life? He said, well, God, loving God. And I said, dude, don't give me that answer, dude, because you know that's what me and mom want to hear. He's all, no. Like,
that's how I was raised.
That's how I'm raised. That's all I know. Like, that's a real answer. I almost started crying. I was like, I looked at him, but I had to man up. You know what I'm saying?
Like, not that song you posted the other day that it's all about money. That's really why I asked him.
Yeah, I know.
Because I saw his Instagram.
Look at that segue, right? Into throwing him under the bus, dude. Look at that, dude. The weave.
I saw something on Instagram, and it was a song about life being all about money. And so at that, and this was a few days ago, but at that moment last night, I was like, son, what is life about? Because I remembered that song, and I didn't call him out on that Instagram post. I called him out on another one, but that's what he said. He saw God, and I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't tell you that, though.
Oh, no.
Let me ask you guys a question, because I like it. My wife, she'll, when we're talking, they'll ask her, so what do you do? And she'll go, oh, I'm the CEO. I'm the CEO of my household. So what does that look like in your guys' house, ladies?
Here's another one real quick.
Yeah.
Cholo Trucker says, let me see that. He says, growing up, we never celebrated Christmas Day. It was always Christmas Eve, even to this day. Same with us. The way I grew up, when I was little, forget it. You had a bunch of, because back then, all the cousins were, it's like our cousins were our brothers and sisters. Like, our cousins were tight, and they would make us wait till midnight. And we slowly chipped them down. We chipped them down, all of us. So then they would let us open gifts at 11, and then 10, and then it got earlier and earlier, but I remember real young, they would save the big present for Christmas Day. By the time you were born, though, forget it. It was over. So it's always been Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, I never do nothing.
I don't know of any Mexican family that does Christmas Day.
I think it's more of how would Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, right? You guys?
Yeah.
We did Christmas Eve when, like, in high school days.
Yeah.
We would go to my best friend's house, and her brother was friends with Tino, and so we would all get together. We'd wait till midnight. We started having kids young, and even while we were having kids and our kids were little, we'd have to wait till midnight. As they started having kids, we didn't wait till midnight. They understood the pain.
Yeah.
But then we would spend Christmas Day with my family or his family. So it was Christmas Day with our families.
Okay.
But now it's Christmas Eve.
How about growing up, though?
Christmas Day.
Like
Christmas Day?
Like opening gifts was Christmas Eve.
Day.
Christmas Day.
You
really?
growing up?
So Christmas Eve
Day.
with our friends, Christmas Day with the family.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you guys kiss the Jesus? You guys
What?
used to pass the Jesus around?
No.
No?
What are you talking about?
Oh.
That sounds weird.
We don't
So
believe in idols.
We don't believe in idols. Jesus
So my
is not an
best
idol.
friend,
You said you were passing it around. Was it a physical thing?
yes,
This is
because my best friend, her parents were Catholic, and so they would
weird.
take the baby and they would pass him around.
Oh, they'd kiss baby Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you think
I thought there was
like a little boy named Jesus?
No, I thought one of your homeboys was named Jesus. And you
That's how I was
passed him and kissed him around.
I thought of Jesus on the cross, and you guys are passing
The
it
crucifix.
around.
It's a baby. It's an actual
That's
like
what you
little
were kissing?
glass baby.
Oh, God. I thought of Talladega
big.
Nights.
Hey, what's the little bread where there's a little baby Jesus in it?
That's still kind of weird. though.
I thought of Talladega
La
Nights.
Yes, Los Reyes.
La rosca.
La rosca.
Yeah.
La rosca. Let me
Okay,
look
back
at
to-
the baby.
Back to Angel's question.
What was your question?
What is
That you're the CEO of your
Yeah.
home.
What is that? What is that?
I'm
look-
just gonna. Okay, so at the gym, I met this girl. Okay, and I was just talking to her, and I was like, "So what do you do for a living?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer." I'm like, "Oh, dang, look at her! Oh, yeah, I'm working out with the lawyer right here." And then we just started talking about that, and then she asked me the question, right? And I was like, "Oh, I'm the CEO of my house. And then she was like, oh, I've always wanted to be that.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like,
that's cool.
are you serious? You're a lawyer working at the courthouse in
Here
Modesto.
in Modesto.
And she's like, I've always wanted a family and children. I was like, wow,
That's crazy.
right?
Put things in
So-
perspective.
That's a real career.
It sure is.
You know, running your household and making sure your kids are going in the right path and
Yeah.
making sure you're raising your boy correctly and knowing when to like calm down, Diana. You know, it's been a challenge for me because again, like we started all over again. So it's like, okay, let's get back down to the little roots of this because his mind is just beginning.
Well, I think 25 years we've been married, and out of the 25 years, probably you've worked a third.
Yeah, when the boys began the last end of their high school year, I was like, okay, they don't need me so much, and then I went back to work.
For like 3 years, 4 years. And then prior to that, when we first got married, first couple years, you were secretary at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Angel, and then you were home for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then you went to school, and then you worked at the hospital for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's been probably about a third of our life together, you know, as far as you actually working outside of the house.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was just curious as far as just for those that are watching and you guys have.
Maria Madrigal says, we grew up celebrating Christmas on the 24th by attending posadas. I don't know what that is. At different houses of my parents' compadres, we sang songs in Spanish, ate traditional Mexican sweets and food. It was super fun.
What is a posada?
I don't know. I must be
I've heard
pocho.
that before.
What's a
I don't
posada?
remember.
I've heard
I
it
just
too,
asked her.
but
I
I
don't
don't
know what a
remember.
posada is.
Maria, educate us. What's a posada definition, please? We're a bunch of pochos, I guess.
ChatGPT, what is the definition of this?
I know there's a few. Anybody else here that's jumped in? D. Flores, hello, God bless you. I think everybody else. Crystal D. Bryant, and everybody else, we gave them a shout out. What about this? What about? Oh wait, nothing beats an intact family home. Society just doesn't talk about it. Cholo Trucker says that. A lot of people don't like the holidays because of the families they've lost, loved ones they've lost. You know,
I'm
and
sure it hurts.
yeah, you know, and the older you get, I heard somebody say they were older already. They said, "Man, now that I'm older, I have more people gone than people here." You know, and there was a Christian talking. I have more people on the other side. You know, and I think that's hard too. Is sometimes we go and say, you know, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, whatever, and people are hurting. You know, and us being in ministry and being pastors, you guys are marriage counselors. You know, you guys have been in ministry for a long time. That's something it's hard to talk to people when they're like, man, I hate this time of year. You know?
I think I didn't realize that until just this year. You know, with how busy we've been and just everything, I was not going to make the trip to Los Angeles, you know, with everything that we have going on because it's our busiest months and everything. But being that we just lost, you know, my brother-in-law and everything, you know, my little sister, all she really wanted was to spend, you know, the holidays with
She
the
was there?
family. She really was going to take the flight over here.
We were supposed to be there this
And
last
we were
weekend.
supposed to be there, but everybody got sick, and they had to cancel it, you know, because everybody got sick with the flu. But here I was at 1 o'clock in the morning just a few days ago talking to her, and she was just broken. She was just broken because, you know, she's like, I don't know how to do this without him, you know, and just to have to hear her broken, and David could hear it in her voice, and we're just sitting there with her at 1 o'clock in the morning as we're leaving the church, and you know how she doesn't know how she's going to make it through this holiday without her husband, you know, that and it hurts as being her, you know, her sister, and that's my brother-in-law who we miss very dearly. It hurts because those are the people that we love, you know, and we miss him. And what do? You just sit there and you just be there for them, You know, you just be there and you just try to hold them up, you know, the best that you can. And there's nothing else you can do but just pray.
I think a lot of times in ministry, you got to change the perspective of the person, because death is never going to stop. Never. You know, and I think you got to change the perspective, because, like, for instance, like your sister's missing her husband. This is the first holiday without her husband. And on the flip side, though, her brother, who's been gone for 25 years, this is his last Christmas in prison, and he's coming home. You know what I mean? So you always got to, because death and sorrow and heartbreak, that's what this world offers. That's it, you know?
And we as family, we just have to push through it, you know. And, you know, like I told my boys, like some of them were like, do we have to go? Yes, you know. We have to make the sacrifices sometimes, and we have to push through those things, you know. Though our bodies or minds or whatever sometimes don't want to go through things, but we have to push through it. What it is at the end goal, it's love that gets us through things, you know. And we have to say, like, you know what, because you love somebody so much, then it has to be enough to get you through those moments. Because you love that person so much, then you have to be there. We have to go the extra mile to, you know, to be able to be there for those people. I mean, just do it, you know. So it's love.
I wanted to read some comments. Empty Tomb says, this year is tough. The little one's mom just passed in February. I'd be lying if I said it was easy. Cholo Trucker says, this year is going to be a little bit of a rough Christmas for me, but with God, every day's a blessing. Maria Madrigal says, Posadas are celebrated 9 days before Christmas, from the 16th to the 24th of December. Food-wise, it is buñuelos. Oh, man. Buñuelos, tamales, atole, and traditional fruit punch. It also includes breaking piñatas. So I'm guessing Posadas, because you're saying that, I'm guessing it has something to do with the wise men, maybe?
I think it's a Catholic tradition.
Yeah,
that
probably.
they do.
But it's probably the wise men that are traveling,
Sounds
because it leads up to the birth of Christ. That's my guess, you know? But yeah.
Sounds like fun. The 16th or what?
Yeah.
That's a
I'll
lot of
We can
celebrate
put that
from
in
the
a
16th.
tradition.
That's a lot of things.
Going back to what you guys are talking about, you know, growing up in Pentecost, you know, it's always, you know, the rush, right? It's the excitement. It's the, you know, that's the victory.
You talking about Christmas or?
No, just pain, like death and
During the
holidays.
going through the holidays or any point in time.
Yeah.
And you know, I always tell people, I said, when you're reading through the scriptures, this is why it's so important to understand your Bible. That, for instance, if you read Proverbs, what's Proverbs? Proverbs is wisdom.
Yeah.
But Proverbs, what I always say, it's a math book. It's the mathematical equations that if you do it this way, statistically, you're going to end up on the upside if you do it this way. You know, statistically saying, because it's these overlying principles of doing the right thing. And then, but you can't take Proverbs and exclude Psalms. You can't take Proverbs and only include Psalms, but exclude Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, or Job. Those are all the poetic books that in the Hebrew Bible, they put that together because you read it together. And in that, what do you find? Ebbs and flows. You find the statistical analysis of Proverbs, but you find the reality and the pain of David. And then in the reality of the pain of David, it is okay to have lament and lamentations. It is okay to look at it and go, man, in this life, Ecclesiastes, what does the preacher say? All is toil. There's nothing new under the sun. And then you put that with Job, and you look at the perspective of life through God and the unseen realm. And it's like you were saying, you have to change that perspective, and you got to be able to give, especially Christians. And we were talking about this, I think, before we even went on camera. How hard is it to be genuine, to be real?
Yeah.
How hard is it? Think of all the years you've grown up in the church. When you walk in the building, people go, "How you doing?" Blessed and highly favored.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, how were you doing in the car? How were you doing this morning? How were you really doing last night? You know, how is your marriage doing? How is your children doing? How are you? You know, instead of just being honest and go, "Brother, I need some help," you know, or I'm struggling, or just to be honest and transparent to go, "Man, this really hurts," you know, right now because of this. And I don't think, you know, a lot of churches, a lot of ministries don't give that opportunity for people to just agonize in the pain that they're suffering through. And we don't look at it as just go, well, but tomorrow's a brighter day. Yeah, I get that.
The tomorrow's not here yet.
And at the same time, you know, this loved one is still not going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, can you just, as Ecclesiastes says, can you just weep with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you just hold me and
Empathize
cry?
and
Can I?
validate their feelings.
Yeah. Can I just listen? You know, I understand the heartbreak of marriage turmoil, and there's certain things that happen in a marriage that there's a death sometimes that you feel, that you go through.
You mourn.
Yeah, there's a mourning
It's a mourning.
time. And it's like, there's nothing wrong. To any believer, it's like, dude, there's nothing wrong. It is okay to be human. To invalidate humanity is to invalidate wholly what Jesus was as fully man, fully God. And you can't devalue that. Yeah. And so, you know, just in this time with pain and love and family, but it's those things, like you were saying, that at the same time, those conversations that you go, you know what? Forget the presents. I want to be with my sister.
Yeah.
I just want to be with my family. Like, as older we get, I don't even pay. Obviously our piles are getting smaller, David.
And that's
Right?
okay.
And you know what?
Chicken.
It is, you know. But at the same time, David, where are we at? We're having Thanksgiving here. Why? Why did we do it here?
So we can be together.
So we
The
can be together.
family can be together.
So we can all sit together. You know.
Comfortably.
Yeah, that was the goal. That's the
Yeah.
purpose of why we chose to
Absolutely.
do that.
Like literally here?
Yeah.
Exactly where you're
Right
sitting,
here.
right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I have an employee that lost her mom, I think like in September, October, and then like 3 weeks later lost her brother-in-law.
Ooh.
Real young, like 20-something. Her brother-in-law was 20-something years old. And so I just asked her, I said, what are you guys doing for the holidays? Are you guys celebrating? Or I know it's probably going to be a really rough season. And I
Yeah.
feel like people don't normally talk like that culturally. I know like my family, we do, but like my siblings and things like that, no one talks about feelings or emotions. And so I kind of had a feeling that they didn't talk about those things. But anyway, she said that some of her sisters were like, and they all, I think, still live at home. And she has a 15-year-old brother. And, but anyways, she said some of them wanted to still celebrate, do Thanksgiving like they normally do. And there was one or two that didn't want to celebrate because they're sad, you know, mom's not there and it's going to be different. And so I was just telling her that everybody mourns differently and that it's okay. And but she said, we are going to do something. We're going to do something small. But I just felt in that interaction with her, just saying, it's okay. Everyone's going to do things differently or whatever. I could just tell there was like a change in her.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just thought it was important to ask her. I work for a large corporation, and it's kind of interesting because I have God stuff in my office all over, and I'm like, if someone's offended, leave my office. No one's forcing you to be here. But it's just interesting because they know that I'm a believer. Sometimes they ask for prayer, or sometimes I feel led to pray. And again, it's a corporation that I work for, but I'll say, is it okay if I pray for you? And if they tell me yes, then I will. And no one's ever told me no. And so for me, I just, you know, you feel the Holy Spirit's working in me, and or the Holy Spirit will be, you know, showing me something, and I'm like, right now, okay, I'm just gonna be obedient. I'm more worried about being disobedient than, you know, what'll happen to my job. Lord, you're gonna provide.
Right.
But anyways, that was just an example of I knew that she probably needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if somebody loses somebody like fresh and then the holidays a couple months later, I get it.
Yeah.
But I think over the years, it's not good and healthy, because it's like if you're going to be sad and say, oh, mom's missing or dad's missing, and I'm like, but I'm here. Someday I'm not going to be here. And someday you're not going to be here. You
That's
know,
very
and that's the reality of it is.
Well, that's what she said. She's
Yeah.
like, Dad's still here.
Exactly.
Like, we should celebrate with Dad. Dad's
Yes.
still here. Yeah.
Yeah, because someday we're not going to be here.
Well, even then, let's go back. I mean, it's been a long time now, 15 years. But we went through a season of you and Steve not being there.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, and we were just talking about this, how blessed we are as a family, because we remember, you know, Justin and Angel were little, how small the family got very quick. And we also remember it expanding again. Yeah, you know, and because
well, the thing was when I went away, it was my house where everything happened at.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the one bringing the brothers together. It's always me. So when I went away, it was like I remember my brother
I
saying,
felt it.
There's
"Yeah,
probably a mourning in that.
It was.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to read what Maria said. She said, "My mom passed away a year ago, but my siblings and I are continuing with our traditions."
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really good. I stayed silent for this for a reason because, as again, Mickey can vouch for it. I'm not the most empathetic. Empathetic, is that the word? I'm not the most empathetic person when it comes to death.
yeah,
And so over our years, she has taught me to just shut up. And literally, like, we go into my own family's funerals, and it's like, can you please not say anything until you get the okay? Just keep your mouth shut. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And especially in her family, like, I'm not allowed to speak. And
It's not like that.
oh no, it really,
What
really
does that
is.
word mean? You said though, empathetic or what?
Like,
What does that
empathetic
mean?
is to have empathy.
To have empathy.
I don't know what that means.
To be sympathetic. How about
Yeah.
that?
Okay,
Sympathetic.
And that you don't.
so you're
have
not
that?
sympathetic?
Not to death, no. That's
He
why I
doesn't
stayed
know
silent.
how to show empathy, to be sorry for someone having a loss. Because
Okay.
for him, he sees it differently, right? And so
My
he
brother.
doesn't know, like when people are really hurting, and like you were talking about,
It's
like allowing
compassionately
them.
speaking.
Yeah, he doesn't have that at all. So for me, like especially when it's a woman, or you can feel like, oh my gosh, they're like just torn and they're just bawling or just different things, and Tino's just like, what? Like life's gonna go on, like you're gonna die too, like.
But the reason why I even bring that up is because one of the things I have learned in the last, maybe about 6 years, 7 years, like you said, through marriage counseling, I've learned, like, let me just listen. I'm not going to give you all of, God has better plans for you, and, Jesus is doing something. Or one of the ones I really can't stand the most is, they're in a better place.
Yeah, no, I don't like
And
that either.
it's just like, what? I know whenever I get angry, and again, me, I'm very transparent about mine. So when I'm angry at God, and a lot of people, when they have a death, they tend to get angry at God,
Yeah,
right?
Part of the grieving process.
part
Right.
of mourning. Yeah,
They don't want to hear none of
Empathetic
that kind of
people are
stuff.
realists.
The stuff.
Or God wanted them more than God needed them more.
That's
than
the worst.
Exactly.
It's like, what? Oh my gosh.
But they don't want to hear it at that moment. And I think that's where God has really softened my heart. Just shut up and do me a favor and listen. Because I have learned in these last few years that listening speaks volumes way more than any words that I can say myself.
Well,
So-
then they're able to hear themselves speak to you.
Yeah.
That's very true as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I
They
know
can
me,
hear
whenever
themselves.
I've yelled at God, I've like, you've been answering me this whole time. I've been yelling at you.
People
Well, most
will-
of the
they'll
time-
speak the answer if you let them talk.
But most of the times,
Sometimes.
during those times, they really, more than anything, need somebody to speak to anyways. They just need somebody that's going to listen to them a lot of the times.
I have a
too.
very, very good friend of mine. The holidays, Christmas and Mother's Day is very, very hard. His mother's been gone for a few years, but it always hits him very hard. And he still talks to me to this day. He still talks to me to this day. And I always tell him, I'm not the guy for this. And he was like, I know. But yet it doesn't stop him from talking to me. I just sit there and I listen. And I think that's who God gave me to understand, to just...
Where do you think that came from?
we grew up around death. My family is old. So like all my life I've been going to funerals when I was a child.
Yeah.
It was funeral, marriage, because like I'm the youngest of the quote unquote first generation.
Yeah.
So my cousin just passed away, and she was the oldest, and she was 79, and she's the first cousin of the whole first generation.
And he's the baby.
And I'm the baby of it all. And there's like 80 of us or something like
Yeah.
that, right? Something crazy. So anyways, it's just like I grew up around death. And so And that's not even, and like what I've told many people, that's not even the homies. That's just family.
Yeah.
And then when we got into the neighborhood and then the streets and then all the funerals there, you know what I'm saying? I just become that way. And I tell you, she said it for me. I didn't even say anything. It's just like, but I've gotten a lot better, and I know she has.
Well, I was just going to tell you, empathy and sympathy aren't the same. So sympathy is a feeling of sincere concern for someone. Empathy involves stepping into that person's shoes to actively share in their emotional experience. So it's similar, but empathy is going that extra where you actually feel for them, in a sense.
It's more compassion.
It's
Yeah.
a little more of the action involved.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to read.
I mean, I understand their pain.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't understand it. It's just that it's better for me to be quiet.
And then I tell them too, like, you don't know necessarily how you're going to feel like when your wife dies or one of your children.
Well, I was
or
just gonna
your-
say that is that a lot of times I've met people like that, and it's like, well, the right person hasn't died yet, then,
Yeah.
you know. But
That sounds horrible too.
Yeah.
yeah,
So since we
that's
have
the truth, though.
since we have Tino on the couch, how long have you been feeling this?
All my life.
We're gonna psychoanalyze Tina today.
Hey, it's not the first time.
Today's what's it called?
I read
Intervention.
Intervention.
You know the crazy
I read
thing
Mickey's
is,
prayer request that came
We
in
ain't
this
stopping
Sunday. I
till you
read Mickey's
cry.
it's all right here in the
I read
comments.
Mickey's card on the prayer request that was turned in this Sunday.
Hey,
The comments are all, we're praying for you, Tino.
yeah. Hey, somebody said even Jesus wept. We ain't stopping till we ain't stopping this life till you cry.
Hey,
Oh, he does cry.
I cry
Just
all the
over
time.
other things. He's more of a crybaby
but
than me.
the crazy thing is when I found out that my brother and my sister were the same way.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. I was like, I thought it
Are
was
you
just,
part German?
Nah. I say hello that way. I just know.
No, because they're like very cold people. That's what. Like, I'm not joking.
I'm a cold person. Oh,
Well, let
Talk
me
about Jesus, you start crying though.
let me go back to
Yeah.
what I was
I
asking
do.
because I want them to know us a little bit, as far as those that are viewers, and ladies, you're not always on the call. They hear us.
So
babble.
I'm Tina would say I'm the queen of the house, but I've worked since like day one, and or even before we got married, I worked, and I still work, and I've worked full time. I've taken time off when I have the kids, and then gone back to work. We have 4 boys, and I've had 7 pregnancies. I was a surrogate 3 times. So, but as soon as I have the kids, I basically am off for a period of time and then go back to work. I remember our 20-year-old, I think I was only off like 6 weeks, and then I went back to work. It was before you could do the paid family leave and all of this, but I've always worked, and I give you props because I used to say back in the day when the kids were little, I would take a day off for whatever reason, and I would be like, I need to go back to work to get a break. Like, this is a lot. But I also had to do those things too when I got home. So, I'd go to work and then come home, and most of our lives, both of us were working. So one of us would make dinner, get the kids ready for baths, do homework, like all of those things. So I did the combination of both. Right now, Tino's home. We're starting something new, but I tell him, like, I couldn't do what I do without him because I don't even have to think. I don't even know what time our kids get out of school. Like, I feel like a bad mom sometimes because I don't know when's minimum day. I don't know those things
But
because
he takes care of that.
he takes care of that. Yeah, he takes care of most of our meals, and I don't eat meat, and so he makes me a special. I'm like a pescatarian. I only do seafood, so he makes me like special meals, and him and the kids eat meat, and they do their own. He makes food for them. It's like it's kind of complicating our whole like little situation there, but yeah. So I work full time, and that's what happened. Oh, a couple things that I don't do because we have boys in the house. I don't throw out the trash. I used to do all these things, so it's not like, I did. It's not like I'm too good or anything like that. But I rarely do the dishes.
Who pays the bills?
I rarely throw out the trash. I don't do laundry. Like and I know how to do these things. I don't do the bathrooms. I don't do the cleaning of the house. And it's not because I'm a dirty person, because I used to have to do these things. But now that our situation's a little different, the kids throw out the trash, the kids do the dishes, and once in a while, I mean, I do them sometimes in the morning, but Tino would be like, why are you doing that? Why is your mom doing this? Why is your mom doing that? Oh, I threw out the trash here the other day. I hadn't done that in a really long time.
Thank you.
Didn't even know where the bin was.
She was just wandering around in the parking lot in circles.
And I do that, and I'm not, and like I said, it's not that I think I'm better, anything like that, because I've cleaned vomit at my job in the restroom. I'll do that. I'll clean
heck no, I
toilets
can't
if
do
I
that.
have to. I'll do those things, but just our roles have kind of reversed
There'd be a
right
lot more
now, and
cleaning
so
up to do.
I don't have to do those things. But I do work full time, and takes up a lot of energy and a lot of my time.
What do you think about him doing this every week? Do
Oh,
you
he
watch
lo-
it?
He loves it. I've seen some of them.
Yeah.
He loves it. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Oh, I think it's good for him. This is like an outlet for him to share with everybody what I hear. I think it's so crazy though, because he's so passionate about things that I'm not passionate about. He'll say, Mick, but what about this and what about that? I'm like, I don't even care. So I feel bad saying it, but I think it's great that he has an outlet where he can share it, and then maybe other people care about the same things, but I'm like, I'm not interested. I don't have an opinion. I don't even know.
She's talking about all the politics.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
It's I've said this. A mentor at my time, he taught me that nothing is hard in life. Nothing you do, nothing outside of your family is hard. Nothing. And then and I never understood that until one day I went for my last job interview, and she says, out of all your jobs, which one was the hardest? And I sat there, I said, do I need to answer this off quickly, or can I think about it? She said, no, go ahead and you can take your time. And then I said, okay. So I sat there and I thought about it. I said, not one of those jobs on that list is hard. I said, I guess the only thing I think that is hard is being a good husband and a good father. That's the only hard thing I have in my life. And I've carried that for the past 8 years, and it's really helped me out. And you know what, man? Times get very, very hard with them boys, and then
You might see it here.
it gets very hard with Mickey here and there. I can't really say. I guess it doesn't really get too hard with Mick because of everything that we've been through. And one day we'll go through the testimony of marriages. But it's just everything we've been through already, and what I see of our hard times today is nothing. So.
Well, it's to be expected in any marriage.
Yeah, I don't expect anything. It'd be boring.
Yeah.
I don't want a slave. I want a wife. So I love it. Sometimes it's man, this will be fun. All right, cool. She's fighting back a little bit. Let's get into it. Then I hit her with some politic questions, and then she gets mad.
We have this 80-20 rule where we say we love each other 100% of the time.
It doesn't flip.
Yeah, 100% of the time we love each other. We like each other 80% of the time, and we dislike each other 20% of the time. And sometimes it's 70-30, but most of the time it's 80-20 because we're so different, right? I mean, it's just the way that we think it is.
I mean, if anybody who knows us knows that we are not anything alike.
So same question to
Well,
Diana.
first you guys.
Well, no, you guys,
What
because
was the
everybody
question?
knows us more. So same
was the
question to
question?
you guys
Well, go ahead.
What was the question?
about getting to know.
Yeah. as
Oh
far
yeah.
as
Tell me the question one more time.
Being the CEO of the family.
What does that look like?
What does that look like? for you?
Let's see. So, I do all the meal planning. Angel does all the grocery shopping, so that works out pretty well. I do all the washing of clothes, and then Angel helps me put it all away, so that keeps us
I don't
happy.
fold. So
There's
it's
a lot
usually
of clothes.
folded by
Well,
then.
the older boys wash themselves, but we still have Ezra, and he has a lot of clothes. But yeah, no, I run the house. He works a lot all day long. He's working. So when he comes home, I just try to make sure that he doesn't come home to an angry wife or you know, because you know how it can get. The baby wants all my attention all day long, and I have to cook dinner and, you know, pick up all the toys. So I try to make sure, okay, Lord, help me out. Angel's about to get home. So Holy Spirit, just take any ugly tones away. You know, let me receive him with love and a smile. And that's really what I've tried to work in recently, actually. Having hard conversations sometimes is what has to happen, because I'm just recently, maybe you had said, you know, try to smile a little bit more when I get home. And I'm like, dang, I don't smile.
No, I said smile when I get home. That's the way I said
And
it.
so, and I didn't realize, you know, that
She listened.
responsibility happens, and yeah, my smile does leave once in a while. And so just to be on purposeful to receive him with a smile and, you know, have dinner together and get the boys, try to make sure that these boys are always connected, you know, because they're older now, and it's much harder to keep them a little bit closer, and just to make sure that, oh, you guys coming down to eat, you know, let's come, let's sit down, let's have conversations, or on the weekends, let's try to be purposeful on doing something together, because, you know, they are older and they're starting to live life outside of us. That's something new for me.
How old are your children?
23 and 21.
Those are the
And
older
then the
ones.
baby.
And then the baby.
Three. So
yeah.
23, 21, and 3.
Okay.
We
And
do game
46.
night. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying
we
I'm
try
fourth
to,
kid,
yeah.
46.
But we do before it was Tuesday, but we just switched it to Thursday, but we do every Thursday game night. So our son that doesn't live with us, he'll come, and
That's
then
cool.
our other son that he just moved back in May or so. But before that, we did game night. So he would come and he would bring his girlfriend, and then our son that's a senior has a girlfriend. So sometimes the girlfriend will come over, but Tino will make something, and then we just play games.
That's cool.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to have girlfriends come over. I know that's odd, but I really can't wait to have another girl in the house, because I'm all boys like you. All boys like you too.
Well, I was gonna say too, just on my part, you know, as far as things that I have been corrected on, and I'm glad she did, was like, don't come in on the phone.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
because
that
I've got
bothers
two
me.
phones. I've got personal phone, I've got my work phone. And it's like, if you've got ministry calls or if you've got business calls, do it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in with your phone walking into the house.
That's good.
So that way, you know, you're not ignoring Ezra, you're not ignoring Justin, you're not ignoring Angel, you're not ignoring me. Just take a minute. It's okay. If you got to take 2-3 more minutes, do what you got to do. But just that way you can greet. And it was like, okay. And because it was either always walking, always walking, you know, because either people are dying or businesses, you know, they want contracts. And so it's like, okay, you got to pray for this person. Oh, that's right. Let's negotiate this contract. And so it was kind of like working through that and realizing, okay, I'm going to shut off my phone. And I've been trying better to.
Oh, yeah, you've done 100% better.
Yeah, as far like even I didn't know that there was a do not disturb button on the phone. I just learned that recently. You know, and so I put it on do not disturb. And if you're going to call, you know, I have confidence that God will meet your need while I can. You know, and it is what it is. And well, because also just part of that is early on in our ministry, we didn't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's why I think it's so
yeah.
important, if anybody in your church couples, if they're getting married, to partner them up with an older couple to guide them through, because marriage at first, especially the first years, they're so confusing and so hard. And so it's like, match your couples up, and, you know, in the church, make sure that they're with somebody older that can help them have a conversation, a mediator?
Mediator.
Not a
Not a
medium.
medium.
You can have me if you're into that.
Let me read your palm.
You're probably the one who passes around the cross kissing the Jesus on the cross. But hey, we listen, we don't judge.
But as a shout out,
Later,
to,
yeah.
as a shout out to JD and Sonia, that are probably watching either now or later.
They do well.
They were that older couple
Yeah.
that
Yes.
when we were, because it was.
He's gonna say, who you calling old?
I didn't.
Just older.
JD, I
than
didn't
them.
say nothing, JD. All right.
They're both wonderful,
They're
wonderful
amazing.
people.
And so,
I
yeah, because they were members here until they moved to Texas for years. And
I don't know why they left.
I think they're still out of the will of God. They've had a couple hurricanes over there. And I'm like, dude, just move back into the will of God.
One thing that's different for us is that we had our kids separate. So when we married, our kids were, well, other than Abraham and Aaliyah, but now they're all adults, And remember, we were always happy because we were like, just take off. As long as there was food in the fridge, we would leave and not have like an Ezra or
Yeah.
little kids, and
We had a couple of years
But
of
we're
that.
always together.
Yeah.
They're
I don't
always.
I don't think it made quite much of a difference though, because I think we're pretty much married to the church though, and I just feel like
It's a baby.
Ministry has
It's a baby on its own.
yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
I think it's been hard because we can't step away, and I think that's what's made it hard for us, and not just that. I've kind of dragged Abraham along with us, unfortunately, but I think
Or fortunately.
fortunately, yeah, which is
Not
which
unfortunate.
Is, you would know, it's a good thing, and it has its good and its bad, because I love the fact that he's in ministry and everything, but I want him to also have a life, as well. He deserves that, and I feel that, he feels that he can't step outside of that, because he feels that he also always has to be here helping, and I just don't think that's fair to him at times. I don't get to see my home often. I would love to be at home more. I'd love to see my kitchen. I would love to see my home. I don't think I get the chance to be the wife and to be the mom that I would love to be, because the last few years I feel like I have not had that chance. But I think that was a decision that both and David, both of us made when we decided to say, Lord, we're willing to make that choice, and that was a sacrifice that we made. I think when we make a choice, and we just, I know things will get better. I do know that. When, I don't know, but I think right now are just the times of trial.
How old is the church? How long is the church?
13 years.
So you got a teenager.
So you have a 13-year-old.
It'll be 14 in
It's
May.
gonna mature.
I believe so. I believe so, and I think that's the way we look at the positive side. And I haven't been here for the 13 years. I haven't.
know.
I feel like
It feels
I
like
feel
you
like
know.
I'm married into
Including here on day one.
ministry. So I can't say for me as a pastor's wife, I married into it already knowingly. So I don't know anything. I don't know him outside of ministry. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You don't want to know.
So
Outside
I
ministry.
don't know.
You're fortunate.
I don't know.
Knowing me is her visiting
Yeah,
me in prison.
I never got a chance to get to know him outside of that.
Like a father.
Yeah, like outside of that. So it's like some people have memories of their husband as being a husband outside of ministry, or they have memories and they have a lot of that. I don't have that. I don't know what he's like.
I think I've obviously never ran a church, but from like a leadership perspective, I think sometimes, and this is something that I've worked on, I've at a point, and you and I kind of talked a little bit about this, but I used to oversee 14 different medical centers, and I oversaw the directors, and we had key performance indicators that we had to meet, and we had this and we had that and all these demands, and I worked weekends, and it was just it was a lot. But what I learned through that is that there's other people that can take care of things, maybe not as good as you, but they'll get there as they train and they learn how to do it. But it's really being able to relinquish that. And I know for me, because I felt like I was so good at all these things, like I can do this, I can do it, I can do it. And I heard a podcast, I used to listen to a lot of leadership podcasts, but one of them was saying, I think it might have been Craig Rochelle, but he was saying that if you take the time to train somebody, it might take you 2 hours, and it might be a 5-minute assignment. It only takes you 5 minutes, or let's say 10 minutes for easy math. 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes a day. In 6 days, that's 1 hour. So you get 1 hour of your life back. So when you take the time to train others and delegate tasks, and like I said, they're not going to do it the best, but through time they can, then you get some of your time back, right? In the long term, in the long aspect. Because for me, I was like, oh, I could go in there and I could change this on a patient, and I could do this and I could do that, and because I knew how to do it and it was easy for me. But when I took the time to say, okay, not Tino, but as an example, okay, I'm gonna show you how to do this, and I'm gonna train you, and there's a difference between dumping and delegating, but following through, making sure they understand and all of that. Then I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even have to think about that anymore. Now I go on to the next thing, and then you can really focus and prioritize what's really, and not to say the other things aren't important, but where to put your
I think we're in the
assign your
process
time.
of that growth. I think which is awesome, because I think we're in the process of that growth and everything, which is beautiful. But I think in that time that's happened, I feel like, you know, like the marriage has taken, you know, it's like
Suffered.
it has suffered in between, and I think, you know, a lot of the times, you know, we're still fairly a new marriage. You know, we really truly are.
Yeah.
So it's like we're still getting to know one another. We're still, because we still
learn
haven't
the
been
church.
able, because we're still learning about one another. We're still in that process. And I think, you know, I'm kind of excited at the same time, but at the same time it's still kind of scary, because I'm like, man, I still haven't even had the chance to really truly get to know my husband the way that I would love to get to know my husband, because we haven't had that opportunity, because we've been so busy. So, you know, I'm still excited, so I can't share in the same momentum that you guys, you know, have shared and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that. I really truly am. So eventually we'll get there. We have empty nesters that hopefully they'll move on, you know, and
She said hopefully.
no. He's walking away. I mean,
Cats, you keep feeding them, they come back.
I pray. My prayer
they
is
come back.
that they actually find great women in their lives, you know, and those are my prayers, that they find women of God, and that they really truly, you know, have lives for themselves, and that's what I want for them. And that, you know, my son, you know, that he stay in ministry, you know, and that he grow here, and that he really become a good right hand for us here, and that he, you know, have a career in what it is that he wants to do here. He loves the engineering and he loves everything here, and that he become a big pillar in this church. And, you know, I'm excited, you know, but I do want to be able to have the experiences that you guys have in 24 years and 25 years, and be able to sit here in 15 years and be able to share in those stories and to say all of that.
How many years you say? Yeah.
He said 25, but technically it's 24.
24
I was going to
years.
correct him.
Did I
before.
say
He said
25?
25.
Oh, yeah,
It'll
I'm
be
already rounded
25
down.
in April.
Yeah.
But
I'm very happy on that.
But to say
Very happy on that.
we do everything together,
Not
everything. You know, at home, if I need help, I'll ask for it. We do everything together. We're inseparable. Everything that we do together.
And that's nice to have your husband all day long.
Yeah, we do everything together.
You think
If
so?
I need help, he'll help.
Nice for her.
The boys help us. You know, Abraham helps us a tremendous amount. I will say that he's the one that really is with us through everything here at this church. He helps us a lot here when it comes to the church. At home, if we ask for it, we get the help. I get a lot of help at home if I ask for it. If not, then I take care of everything at home. So, yeah.
How do you feel about Angel doing this?
I love it. I love it. I love the topic. I didn't know that it was something that I liked. Until a few years ago, my nephew was like, you know, have you voted? I'm like, no, I don't care about that stuff. And then he looked at me, he's like, well, you should. I should? So then I started watching things and then conversations, you know, and then I would see like the media kind of like not portraying the truth. And I was like,
Then you can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it. And that's where it all started for me. I started seeing two different stories. I was like, babe, the ABC News said this, and I watched the whole conversation, and that was not said.
So did you vote?
Heck yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Well,
You
it was
better
for us. It
believe
was kind of at the same time because I was working from home, and so we would just, as I was on my laptop, we were watching the dailies that Trump was doing in 2020, right when the pandemic hit. He started. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, he started doing every day for like an hour, and for a couple
Every day for
weeks,
an hour,
and so
he
it was
would
around
talk.
day 2 that we listened, and we left YouTube on, and it ended up that we weren't watching CNN. And so all of the smart commentators, you know, that come on afterwards, and we just let it play. We weren't even paying attention, and then we were like, "What did they just say?" You know, it was one of those, and that's when for us, you know, it just kind of, opened up for that. But well,
So yeah.
we're going back. I know Sharon said a lot. David, anything you want to?
I'm always talking the most, so I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah, but I don't know if they hear these topics or in this.
Well, when
So
it comes
let
to
me ask
patriotism stuff and everything, I'm on top of stuff with him too, though. I do love to, you know, I don't watch you guys, but I already know about topics and everything, so I do like to stay on top of it. So I'm glad you ladies voted.
Well, no, I'm saying the marriage
Why
side.
you didn't?
Heck yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I'm saying the marriage side because I know she was responding.
Yeah, no, I think that I'm a weird creature.
Very weird.
I'm a weird
We all know
creature.
that. We all
I remember in the very
agree.
beginning, and it probably went over her head, or she didn't quite understand, or maybe think that I was exaggerating or something. And I said, you know, I don't know if I can give you a great life, but I'll tell you what, you won't be bored. You know, you ain't gonna be bored. I don't think she fully understood because I'm not a 9-to-5 guy. I'm not gonna go to a warehouse and come home and kick off my boots and want dinner. And it's gonna be different, you know. And my mind don't stop, my brain don't stop. That's helped me in my life, and it's also
And it's kept me busy.
and it's not helped in my life. You know, I got to learn how to gauge it because I won't stop. You know, I won't stop. And but I love to be with her. Today I had an eye appointment, and I get up and because it's kind of like Marshall and in How I Met Your Mother.
Marshall and Lily.
Yeah, Marshall and Lily.
I've heard. It.
Yeah, because like I was gonna get my eyes checked, and in my mind I'm like, we're going so I can get my eyes checked. Like, and she's like, can I just stay home? Like, why do I have to go?
I'm like, can I please stay
And
home?
then I'm just like, because I'm like, hey, get up, come on, turn. And
What do
she's
you
like,
mean? You're
I gotta go to the eye doctor.
I was like, I gotta go to the eye doctor. She's like, am I gonna drive you home? And I'm like, no. Then do I have to go? And I'm like, no, I guess not. You know, I guess not. You know, I'm like,
Just
yeah,
stay.
just stay and rest. And I drove all sad all the way to the eye doctor.
Do you
I drove sad.
you guys remember?
They got there and they're just like, what's wrong with you? Why is all red?
He's not listening to Vicente.
But
A tus brazos otra vez.
I don't like it. You know what I mean? I like to be with her. You know, and I don't know. Just but I think coming in this church, when she first came, I just got Hatch Road. You know, and then it went from there to another building. So we're constantly like, and then it fills up, and then it goes to something else. So then it's more challenges and more challenges. But I think,
And the more challenges, there's more drama.
yeah, you know. But I think
Always.
coming here to this building was probably over our heads. at first, you know, and just now it's starting to balance out. But at first it was like, what did we just do? Once we signed the lease, once we started cleaning, we're just like we need teachers for all of these. Like at first we're like, we just need classrooms, we need youth, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to have a pantry, and then we're like, it takes people to do this. How? And we weren't used to that because we were in a warehouse, so there was no departments, there was no nothing. It was just one big warehouse that was a sanctuary. That's it. So I think that we came into this not really fully understanding this is going to be probably the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. I've done movies, I've done projects, concerts, I've done record stuff. I mean, nothing has been as hard as this here, you know. And I think that at times puts a strain, you know. And that's why, like on our day off yesterday, we just watched TV. Like we're just there, you know, and just being there, you know, and not being home. Because a lot of times on our day off, like, you're like, well, we got to clean, we got to wash, and then we get involved and do this and do that, and next thing you know, our whole day left, you know. And
I mean, I hadn't slept for 48 hours
I
this
know.
weekend straight.
yeah,
You know, I didn't sleep for 48 hours because I was cooking pozole. I was cooking, you know, we were just doing so much this
which
weekend.
was bomb, by the way. That was amazing.
I didn't get to have any because by the time I forgot about the announcement, and then we were in the car, and I came back to drop off the tree frame and all that other stuff, and then David was like, "Hey, do you want pozole?" I was like, "Dude, I am not unstrapping Ezra and bringing him back in here, trying to eat a hot meal because that kid is not gonna let us eat." So I apologize.
It won't happen again.
But what's that one movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. where he's like, "I'm not yelling." It was
Show me the
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire, right? Because he's like, well, you always want to argue. You think that's arguing? You know, and then they start, he goes, now we're just talking.
Now we're just talking.
You know, and I kind of like, sometimes I got to realize, because she gets tired. You know, she does. She does a lot, you know, and like, a lot of the stuff I do is a lot of the stuff with the computer. So, yeah, that messes me up here, but I'm not walking. I'm not on my feet. I'm not, you know. And she is, you know, and sometimes I got to slow down and I'm just, man, she's going to.
I had to remind him of that. I told him, you have so many thoughts in your brain. Like, we need to do this. We should do this project. We should do this. And your ideas are amazing. Like, you want to implement.
But pozole wasn't my idea.
Okay, but he wants
That
to
sounds
implement
familiar.
ideas and everything,
Yeah,
which are
ideas.
awesome. But then he puts it down technically. But guess what? Once your project is, let's do it, it's a whole event or it's a whole thing. Guess what needs to be done?
Well, even the week to week though.
It needs to,
like,
we need to get it done. And it's me telling the girls, we need to get this done. And it's work. And it's a lot of work. And a lot of the times it's just me and 3 girls. And sometimes two of these girls have full-time jobs, and it's me saying, all right, let's go, you guys, we got to get this done. And it's a lot of no sleep, a lot of getting it done. And if I try to, you know, recruit people to get it done, some people can't be here. So it's just me and 3 women, boom, 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 till 3 o'clock in the morning. And yes, it's a lot of work here, but I'm not 20 years old anymore.
but like even just not the events, forget all that, just a regular running the church.
Yeah, cleaning.
It's like, okay, the Bible college, I got to read, I got to study, I'm sitting. But that's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know, because I'm teaching 3 classes a week.
Back to back.
Back to back, so that's a lot. And then I got to make the flyer for the sermon, and then I got to get the Bible study ready. Then I got to do the sermon. So a lot of it is me sitting, but it's in front of the computer. But it
Wednesdays.
gets tiring, you know. It gets exhausting, and running the website and the YouTube channel and everything else. But anyways,
Let me ask you this: would you guys be comfortable to leave a whole weekend and somebody run your whole church service?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
would-
possible?
We've-
no,
we've-
my thing is, are you comfortable? Are you at that
Now we
place
are.
to be comfortable to leave?
Yeah,
Well,
now we are.
I mean, I left for that whole week. I
No,
had
I'm
No,
to.
no, no,
Both
no,
of
no,
you.
no,
Both.
the
Both
both
of
of
you.
you to leave.
Like if you guys left together on a vacation,
Yeah.
the two of you.
For just a weekend.
And not call at 1:05.
Or
Yeah.
not be like,
Right, not
Abraham,
make a call
have
to
you turned
go.
on the or turned
Yeah.
off the alarm or
Where were we?
Disconnect.
And not watch live the sermon of the
yeah,
service.
don't you can't watch anything.
Well, I have to go to service on Sunday.
Well, there's that one time that you guys took off. You guys went to Texas for some reason or other.
Yeah,
and you guys,
yeah, we left.
On a
We
weekend.
Yeah.
left before.
But that's
yeah.
what I'm
But
saying.
you guys
It's getting
left to go. You
this-
guys left to go do ministry somewhere else. Would
It's
you
getting
guys?
to the point where we can leave and
Yeah.
everything's functioning.
That's why I was saying in the beginning. I said at first when we came, but things are. It's balancing out.
It's
now.
balancing
Yeah.
out now.
Because you were
Yeah.
saying what you were saying, and the thing that was coming for me or in my head was, well, 25 is coming, and so 25 is just going to be completely different.
Yeah,
here at
because
this place,
you
I
got to
think.
remember this first year was trial and error. Everything is where, I mean, the first year is always going to be like what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, we had to see what worked well, what didn't work, who was willing to, like, we finally had teachers that were willing to really stay and to work in the children's department. We had people that were willing to say like, hey, I'm willing to volunteer, and they were committed, you know, and we were able to see that, and just the things that took place throughout this year, which was amazing. And now we're just like, okay, we can do this. So now through trial and error, we're able to plan 2025. So now here we are going into 2025 with a plan.
Oh yeah, the letter you guys got.
Nice.
With a plan.
Yeah, that was nice.
So this is
Yeah,
what this
so-
is about. Now is setting a plan together so that we can plan out 2025.
Now, I don't know. I don't think you guys remember. I don't know the when we left this building, the first go around,
C3.
and we went back to the same building that we had as far as the storefront,
Yeah.
the waterfall. And the first service we were back, I had read. I was praying in tongues, and I wrote down a writing that I felt the Holy Spirit gave me. And what I read to the church was I wrote it down word for word of what I had heard. And it was, this next season is going to be a season of training and equipping in this place. Before you expand. I still have it. I have it in a notebook written down and the
Yeah.
date on it. So before you expand, you have to grow your roots down. And shortly after that, we left. I remember that. And I remember the difficulty, and I remember kind of going through that. And I'll be honest with you, probably the last year and a half, Mom's probably watching right now, but she would always tell me,
Hey.
she would call me, we'd be talking, and then she would go, she's probably gonna say no, but she did. She would always go, David's always busy. David never answers his phone. You gotta help him. You gotta help him, right? And you remember a call about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we were talking, and I told you, I said, David, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you and just what you guys have built. Because when God gave me that word, I didn't feel like that word included me. Even when I got it, I didn't feel that it included me. It was for you guys. And part of that season, we had to get out of the way I get what you're saying about your marriage, but we had to get out of the way to allow you guys, through whatever you guys are walking through, to get to know one another.
Well, you said grow your roots earlier, right? And I felt like it was both of you growing your roots in that church.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you do it
grew
together
some
through your
roots.
marriage, through your marriage, through a lot of that. And I'll say this, we tried to launch a church and all these different things happened. I mean, we had so many things go wrong as far as buildings, and we almost did this and that and everything else. I'll be honest with you. When we had Ezra, our life took a shift. And I didn't know to what degree that was going to take a shift at 43.
40 for me.
Yeah, 40 and 43. And when this kind of took place when I started looking, and I was looking at Pleasanton, and I was kind of going over there,
Yeah.
and then one day Deanna looks at me, she was like, it's a good church, good people. I know they're friends. But why are you over there? I said, because I feel like God's expanding what we got to do. She goes, you talk to your brother every day. Why don't you just go to house of rest? And I was like, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. I'll be honest with you. It just wasn't. It wasn't anything negative. It just wasn't. It just hadn't crossed my mind. And the reason why I say that is because you guys were talking about the timing and the season and everything else.
Yeah.
And for us, it really was like, I think, and I'll be honest with you.
I think their roots are deep enough.
Well, not just. It felt like when Trump did what he. This is gonna sound
Yes.
really corny and really.
Sounds really funny, I know, but I agree with him.
When Trump teamed up with people that thought differently than him, that blew my mind, and I was just like, okay, whether these people are Christians or not, that's amazing, because I don't see that happen in the church very often. Of actually people wanting to get together for purpose outside of do we agree on everything. And that really struck me, David, and that's when I was like, that's when I started pushing you. Hey, how can I help on the college? Hey, I know I felt like I was a drip, just a broken record.
Telling them, yeah, déjalo.
David, let me help you with the cause. David, let me help you with college.
Oh, yeah.
But when she said that, and then hearing your guys' story and hearing about, and it was kind of one of those.
And you guys are marriage counselors too, is what he told
Yeah,
me. I was like,
it was really just more of, okay, there's a river that's flowing. Lord, where can I be fruitful? And having, all the experiences what we had, and I had to come to terms. We had to come to terms to go, what is the best suited place for what we can do, and our family situation right now, and our dynamics.
Yeah.
And that's when it was like, you know what? Let's tie in. Because I told Tino before I even told you. I said, I hadn't even told David yet.
you did?
And what we were thinking. And so, I say that just as a commendation of everything you guys have been through. Now there's going to come a time in a season where your marriage is going to flourish in a different direction. And those roots will be isolated and alone like they should be.
Amen.
And I think you guys are getting to that place.
There you go.
And I think the church is growing to that place. At 13 years old, you can drop them off and let them walk a couple blocks. you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Right? And so, but you guys are getting to that place that now you guys will also on a different end. You guys started backwards, but it'll all catch up and be even. And that's how I feel right now in this season of where the church is at, where you guys are at, where all of us just kind of here and growing into. And, because one of the things that I told you a couple years ago that I literally woke up, my eyes open, and here's what I heard, was David never had a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard. And I pondered over that for
And
about...
he's always said that.
Yeah. Here, Sharon, with me, I always had a plan B, but I was never in his shoes. David really didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
My plan B was I was going to school, I had career, it was ministry, it was full time, it was parenting, there was all these other things that were always there. And I struggled with that for a little because I didn't know what the Lord was kind of saying, and now I understand.
You ever seen like in old movies or something, or somebody, it'll be an old Western movie and somebody saves somebody out of quicksand, and after that he follows them. He's like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm all yours. What do you mean, dude? Just go. I got you out of the quicksand. He's like, no, I can't. You saved my life. I wouldn't have my life if it wasn't for you. I'm following you everywhere you go. That's kind of my conversion to Christ. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I got nothing else. You know what I mean? Like this.
And I'm holding on.
Remember when they said 23 to life? Remember that?
I did.
I would have got out this year. And now it's 23 minimum mandatory. Minimum mandatory was 23 to life. I would have got it this year. You know what I mean? So like all the way up to this point, I'm just like, every day I wake up, that's why a lot of times, like, I've even told you, I'm just like, how can you say, why are you saying it's a bad day? Why are you, or however, I forgot how I worded it. I don't want to misword what I said, but I'm like, every day's a blessing. Every single day's a blessing. I don't care if I don't know how to pay the rent and the truck is this and this and that, whatever. I should have been in a cell right now. You know, so because of that, I'm the guy that will save that at quicksand, so there's no plan B. I'm just like, Lord, I'm going to follow you. I'm just going to follow you. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where you're going. I don't have to know where you're going.
And we do. And there's days where we don't even know where the bills or whatever is going to get paid from one day, and we're sitting at a parking lot and we're just, that'll be our lunch date or whatever it be, and we'll just be there and we're just kind of like, Lord, and he'll be like, you know what? He's going to provide this day, and we'll just be sitting there, and he's just going to be like, this is it, you know? There is no plan B. And he's like, I told you, Sharon, there's no plan B. And I'm like, okay, I'm with you. You know, I believe and I trust everything that he says because I know who he's going to answers for. And I don't even question what he says. I don't even question it anymore because
You hear that?
I don't, Angel, because there'll be days, I'm not kidding, where he'll be like, I know that, you know, whatever is going to come, it's going to come from God, and he's going to provide it, and that's it. And sure enough, there it is. It's right there at the last hour, at the last midnight hour. It's coming through what we need, you know,
He's
for
faithful.
the rent.
He's faithful.
You know, he's faithful to
He's
the last
faithful.
minute, and I don't get it, and I don't understand.
Oh, I'm in it now. When is the first?
You know?
In a few days?
Sunday.
And it
I'm freaking out.
And constantly.
But I'm just like,
But it happens to the last minute,
every time.
every single time, and I don't even question it anymore. It's like I'm at peace,
Yes.
you know.
But it's scary.
It is scary, but I just
scary.
hang on to him every time.
Yeah.
I know you said something about that you're in the parking lot, that's your lunch date. And I know one of the main things that I hold on to, like I said, one of these days we'll do a testimony on marriages, but one of the main things I hold on to when we first started walking in our deliverance, because our children are older, you know, it was like, hey, you want to go to Target? That's when we still shopped at Target. And it was like, yeah, sure, let's go to Target. It's like, what are we there for? And I got no problem with window shopping, you know what I mean? I could just go walk the mall, dude, and just be like, oh, look at that. Okay, so whenever I do come back with some money, I already know what I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I'm not going to the store without
right.
my money.
So we were just like, hey, let's go. So one of our big things was...
So he was having fun and you were depressed.
I'm like, why do you want to look at things we can't even buy?
You don't go to
This
Target
is
either?
fun.
Not anymore.
I refuse.
Yeah, not anymore.
Anyways.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, one of our big dates was Rite Aid.
Because we love thrifty ice cream.
I love ice
Oh,
cream,
yeah.
dude.
That
Especially.
place, that's romantic there.
Oh, dude, man! If we go look at the dollar aisle and the clearance and eat ice cream,
The
dude.
Lord has talked to me at Rite Aid. I'm just saying.
Oh, literally.
I believe you.
And
We do a lot of parking
And
lot
so we've
dates.
done quite a bit of that, and so I hold on to that. And you know, you keep saying that you don't get to share with what you hear us share. But I can say from the flip side, I don't get to share what you get to share. I do understand today, just like you got a teenager at this, we're still in our deliverance. We just barely hit a double digit. You know what I'm saying? So what you see of Tino and Mickey most of it so far has still been bad. So the way my mind works is, I've been up here for 20 something years, and I lived in SoCal for 20 years. So I've outlived SoCal. So you know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. My marriage hasn't flipped like that yet. But you know what though? It doesn't matter how bad it was for most of my marriage. What I always focus on is what is so solid in my life today. Because of what God has done, look at where my wife and myself are sitting at. You know what I'm saying? We're here talking about Thanksgiving, about how I hate Christmas on November 3rd, you know, with two wonderful men that I'm barely getting to know with their wives. I think that's absolutely, in my head, that's amazing. Okay? So and it's just like, but I do see change, and I do see that I'm always asking to be a vessel. and again, she'll correct me. You guys already know, well, especially you, like, you know, she was not gonna let me exaggerate. Like, I asked to be a vessel all the time, and so when I got here, I was like, okay, cool, this and that, whatever, blah 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 blah, and then I remember I sat here in one of your services, and I was first here, and it was after Easter, right after Resurrection Day, and
Of this year?
it was here
Yeah.
Yes.
at this location. Is that what you're asking me?
No, I was just saying, it was it this year?
This year.
Oh yes, oh yeah. So this was, as a matter of fact, it was on the 28th of April. Excuse me.
Yeah, he hasn't been here a full year.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So
6
I
months.
wrote down the word rain. It was during worship. I wrote down the word rain, and it's REIGN. That rain. Okay. I put the noun royal authority and sovereignty. The verb is to possess or exercise sovereign power, and then I wrote this. I want you, O Lord, to reign on our lives, Lord, with all your authority and the power that you only possess, Lord. I pray that your rain falls on us that ask and those who follow. I pray that your rain falls on our obedience, that your power will separate us from the rest of the world, and that when that happens, we long for your rain to never stop, but to continue to drench us in your sovereignty. Overwhelm us with your rain, Lord God, and please, God, don't let us go, in Jesus' name. Right? That's what I wrote down during worship. And every once in a while I get these, and I was like, I gotta start typing this stuff in, or else I'll forget it, right? Then he starts teaching, and he started teaching on rain. Not REIGN, but
Literal
rain.
rain. Yeah.
And he was saying that nothing happens until the water takes effect into the ground of what we plant. And then I was just sitting there stuck on stupid, because I was like, I asked to be drenched in your rain, in your sovereignty, in your authority. Let us all who ask for that to be drenched in it, right? Then he started talking about the drenching of the rain and about the fruit and the so on and so on and so on. And I was just stuck there. And I said, we got done with the service. I said, did you just hear everything he said? She said, yeah. I said, read this. And then she read that. And she just looked at me like, I think we're stuck here for a while. And then what did I do?
Went right to me.
I walked up to you, and what did I tell you?
You showed it to me.
Right? And I said, hey man, I'm sorry, bro.
You're stuck with me.
You're stuck with me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he started, like I told you before, you're starting to understand why I had to apologize.
Yeah.
before
But
I
then he
said
said, I just want you to get you to know me before you get to know my wife, because everybody likes her more than me. It's always
that's
Team Mickey.
cute.
And I'm like, why would you say that? But after a couple of weeks, I get it.
But I mean, that's why, like, I'm listening to you say this and that, whatever, and we've had our conversations like, man, they do a lot. And it's just like, okay, well, be prepared and this and that, whatever. And so,
I will share that actually him and I just had a conversation while we were going to get something to eat right now, and I told him, I said, Tino, I sort of miss the other church. And he's like, why? And I said, because I did more. I said, I'm not a pew writer, and I am here. And he said, don't worry, Mickey, something will come. But I said, you're not on the pew. I said, I am. I'm like, I'm not used to this. It's like, I sit there and I'm like, I need to do something. I want to. I feel like I'm not being used. So anyways, that's for you guys.
Hand her my keys.
But it's a different way. It's so at the other church we did, we led the prayer ministry, we did couples counseling, we did all of these things. And so for me, and I know we've only been here a short period of time, but I'm like, okay, so, all right, Lord, Tino's doing all these things. What are we doing here? And so I just feel kind of anxious because I'm like, okay.
But I think that's what that meeting's about. It's about delegation. It's about, because what good is it if me and her think of all these things to do, not even knowing if there's people wanting to do it?
that's right.
And I think that's what's going to be really important, because we need you. We need like 20 of you. So
I tell you, I just know something's coming, and and whatever it is, it's promised land coming, and it's just we just had this conversation again today. Like this is, so I sit in a wise man group. I told you this, right? And it's all
You're the youngest.
huh?
You're the youngest.
Yeah, it's all older men, and I mean older men. Okay, and so I was just sitting in there and I was telling them today about that, Mickey and myself, we're at our Jordan right now. I'm in the book of Deuteronomy, and that book is, like I said, it's all written at the Jordan, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all about the Jordan. And they're looking at their promised land, and there's a lot of stuff that goes up for Mickey and myself. And I have learned that, this is who sharpens my iron. You know what I mean? This is who sharpens my sword.
Amen.
Iron sharpens iron. Nobody else sharpens the iron like this woman does. And so the thing about it is like, I told her, I said, Mick, we're at our Jordan right now. We're right there. We can see it. We can see the promised land, because that's what they were doing. They were looking at it. And it was just, we had this full-on conversation on the way over here. I picked her up from work. We were on our way over here. We're having this full conversation, and it's just, it's absolutely amazing. And then you started talking about this, and it's just, I've just been hearing confirmation all day. Like, man, I got you. I got you. And it's this, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, but so much more exciting.
But I want to say something real quick. I think part of it too is that I think we all have PTSD in ministry, in the sense of this, is that it's beautiful to hear your heart right now, because a lot of times we have expected it from people, you know what I mean, and then they fall away because it was too much for them. So then it makes us afraid, because we're like, I don't want to lose people, so I won't even ask. You know what I mean? So, and because of that, not realizing, some people are coming saying, I want to do something. I want to be busy for God. I want to. So I think just you sharing that.
We place people there and then they don't show up anymore.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it goes on both sides, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think for us, because we've when we first started in ministry, we did everything, and we worked here and did this and did
Burned
that.
ourselves out.
I mean, we didn't stay till 3 a.m, but we said yes to a lot, so we know how to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use
And
the
we, yeah,
Which
and we
no is an
know.
anointed word sometimes.
Yes, and we know when if we're not meant to be in a certain area or doing something, or if the Lord moves us, just like, I mean, he moved us out of that other church, and we had no idea where we were going, but we just knew it was time, and here we are. And so for me, I'm a very structured person, very methodical. And so for me, I like to have the plan, and, and this is exactly where I'm going. And, so I think it's just interesting that we're all kind of talking about this, because we literally were just talking about
And what
this
better
while
way than
we were
live with
picking
the whole
up our
world to see?
topic. I know.
Got you recorded.
I know.
But you know what's funny is the prayers, right? Because our prayers have been very specific. Because once again, moving from a smaller building or warehouse, whatever, you can kind of have church and kind of church service kind of loosey-goosey kind of thing, because it's so small. And I realize it doesn't work here. It doesn't, because there's classrooms and there's this and
there
there's
has
that.
to be order.
There's you have the food pantry. You have just a lot of moving parts, So our prayers have been like, Lord, can you please send people that are structured? Can you please send people that are like, because it can't be like that.
Well, that are willing to work with us,
You know?
and that actually have our vision too, because when you have people that don't have the same vision, and that aren't willing to work with us, to have that same order as well, it's hard, because then you have people that kind of don't even work with us, have no communication, don't have order, and they go off and do their own thing, and that makes it really hard too, because then then there's no order, then there's no communication, and then and that's what brings division, and that's what brings that's what makes it really hard too, because we've encountered that a lot too, and it brings this unity that just gets disrupted, and it makes it really hard, because we're supposed to be in unity, we're supposed to be together, we're supposed to be capturing this vision and walking together, doing God's work together for the kingdom. And then you have people that are just, that's where problems arise, and this unity.
Yeah, I remember when I was in prison, Angel came to visit me once, and he said something. He said a few nuggets on me that never left me, but this is one of them. Was the fact that he says, "Listen, in the book of Acts, how do you think they knew there was 5,000 converted? How do you think they knew this?" He goes, "Somebody had a list. Somebody had
Census.
structure. Somebody knew who was who.
They're keeping
Somebody, you know what I mean? So there was that, and that's.
The census.
I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
saying that to me, so it's like, it's the same thing. So coming into this place, we realize that we need people that have those skills, like that, like you're saying, like Sister Veronica, her too, that we had no idea.
She shocked us when she came in and she started all of a sudden doing some of the things that
She happened
was
to be
doing.
here, and we were having a meeting, and she happened to be sitting there, and I didn't even notice her writing. She shows up next week. She goes, "Here's the minutes." I'm like, what minutes?
And she didn't even know that I had been praying
For somebody.
for somebody to do minutes, because we had went to the bank, we had went to a few organizations that had asked us for minutes, and here she
Yeah,
was
minutes of the meeting.
bringing us
Like a corporation.
the proper. We had just been doing notes and been putting, who was in the meetings and stuff, but not the proper minute writing. And here she goes, "Here's your minutes." She had did it all in the
I was
proper.
like, what? Oh, you've done messed up now.
I said, "Oh no!" I said, "I need you here every Wednesday."
So you drop
So
the
now,
ball.
It's
now
just
I have a
different
log. Now I have a log of all our minutes
awesome.
of everything.
It doesn't work now here. It falls apart without organization.
Well, see, like when she said that to me.
Said
when
what?
When she said, "Angel, you're always with
Oh.
your brother. You're always one." And I didn't say anything. I just kind of looked at her, and I didn't answer.
Yeah.
I just pondered over for a few days. And honestly, the word that was just kind of in my mind over a few days, that it was like, okay, I'm going to talk to David. And then my kids ended up telling you before I did, was it's fertile. That's what I heard. It's fertile.
Amen.
And, and that was really our prayer was, okay, the dynamics of what we've been walking through over the last 8-9 years. And it was like, okay, so how do we do this? Because as much as we are similar, we're very different. And
Well, I'm a favorite of our moms.
well, and
That's
a
one
liar
thing.
apparently, but
A lying pastor.
all at the same time. No, but just, but Sharon,
all know it's
just
real.
kind of, just making those decisions, and I'll say one, because I went to that same school where she would kick me under the table and tell me to shut up, and I was, for some reason, it took me many years in that college. I didn't graduate for a long time.
I haven't graduated.
He goes back to school every so often.
He hasn't stayed quite since he learned how to talk.
I'm the baby.
We would argue at 5 years old with my parents about who was right.
Well, he
I
ran
was
away
right.
too.
He ran away one time to next door to my brothers. He says, "Let me make my own decisions," and he walks out. And then he came back when dinner was ready. He was 5.
He was 5.
I was right though. That's what I'm saying. No, but I think this season, guys, I'm really excited. One of my prayer,
Yes.
and I shared this with Deanna, and I said this with tears to her, and it was maybe months ago, 4 months ago maybe. And I said, I sat there and I just said, I haven't been excited about ministry for 20 years.
Dang.
It's funny because I told David, I think it was months ago too. It was maybe months ago, and I said, I think it was a few months ago. Remember, I think it was because we had seen Tia Ana and I had seen everybody, and I said, how come we're not doing this all as a family? How come as a family we're not all here like Angel? Diana, everybody, just how come all of us, the whole family, how come we're not all serving here together? We should all be here.
I have a
Like the
question.
family, everybody should be here together. Like we should all just be under one roof.
I agree.
And I felt that in my heart so deep, like so deep. And I remember at one time I was in the car and we were just driving.
I agree.
I said we should all be together. Like I just feel like the end is coming so quick, and I just feel like we should all be serving together.
Life is so fast.
It's just all coming so fast that I just felt it in my heart that we should all, our kids, everybody, we should all be coming together. Like I just felt that.
Are all your brothers saved? I mean, obviously the two of you.
He's halfway saved.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
I'm on my journey.
There you go. You're a
Did he
sojourner.
mean halfway because
You're
of
a
the height?
sojourner.
Oh, pobrecito.
There's 4 of us.
Right, and so you're 4, you're 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 3.
4, 3, then Steve is 2, Ruben's 1.
Yeah. And so is 1 and 2, are they saved also?
2 is saved.
Uh-huh.
1, I think he is in denial of being saved.
Yeah.
Are you making a joke again, or are you
No,
being
I'm being
serious?
No, I'm
serious.
being serious.
Don't
Oh.
drink, don't cuss, doesn't go out, watches the sermons.
Wonderful dad,
Faithfully.
wonderful
Yes.
father.
Amazing father, amazing husband,
amazing
loves the Lord.
husband, and grandpa.
Yeah, don't disrespect God. He'll punch you.
He'll
in the
karate
face.
chop you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
But
that's my
not-
oldest.
but not saved.
He watches
Well,
everything.
I will say this to our oldest because Ruben watches. So
He's probably he watches everything.
Yeah. Well, he might watch it tomorrow at work or whatever.
Yeah.
He watches it.
Hi, Ruben.
But
Hey, Ruben. Yeah, I met you, but it's nice to meet you.
but I remember one time when he had you were I don't know if you were out at the time that he had eye surgery when they found a tumor.
They didn't tell me until I got out to release date.
Okay.
On the way out of prison, they're like, "Oh, by the way, your brother has a tumor in his head." And I freaked out. I'm
Oh,
like,
how-
I was out like 20 minutes.
So well then
They didn't know- I didn't know he was
surgery
going
hadn't
through that.
happened yet. Then.
No,
Okay.
they were doing he had a mask, but they were doing the laser thing or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, and so him and I would talk because I was in Arizona at the time, and we would talk. And Ruben, if you remember this, but we would talk on the phone. We would just cut up and laugh at different things, and then we'd have our serious conversations. And we talk about the Lord and different things. And I remember he told me, and Ruben, if you're listening, you said this. He said, "There's nothing in it that I disagree with. There's nothing in it that I would, hold back from." He said, "But I don't know." He said, "I see Dad, and the way Dad is just wild, crazy worship, growing up our whole life."
Yeah,
And he just goes, "That's not my personality. If I have to do that, I don't know if I can do that."
it's not my personality either.
Yeah,
Well, and that's what
it's
that's what I
not.
said to him. I said, "Ruben, that's Dad's Christianity. That doesn't mean
That grabs a flag and takes off.
Yeah.
that's our dad. That's what we grew up seeing. That's Dad. So, but that doesn't have to be you.
No.
We've watched an evolutionary process of our oldest brother. Just kind of being able to, like you said, I think he is. If he's not surrendered, he is surrendered by action, maybe not by heart. But I think he's more there than he thinks.
Yeah.
And it's really just a matter of now the acknowledgement of that surrendering in his life.
Amen. Yeah, I agree.
Is really,
I agree.
Our second oldest brother.
he's just crazy.
He's just goofy
Have
for
you
the
met him?
Lord.
No, the only brother.
He's loud.
You would know if you met Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my second brother was in addiction for 19 years.
Okay.
He usually
My kids
goes
didn't-
all the way up there
Yeah.
to all the way up on top of the platform to hug me when he comes.
When he comes.
He would,
Yeah.
he'll make it known.
My kids didn't know him, and my wife was scared of him, honestly,
I was.
until
At the
after
beginning.
until after his addiction.
I
They
love
didn't even
Steve.
But he had an amazing transformation.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now, now he has an amazing wife, has a house, has a car, has a job, loves the Lord.
Praise God.
We
Yeah.
left the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
And everybody's in Cali.
yeah.
Everyone's within driving 20 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
will you guys all be together on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, here.
So you'll all be here.
Yeah, which comes full circle of why Thanksgiving is important to me. I would think for Angel too. Hopefully for all of us is it's not about the Pilgrims. It's not about the Native Americans. It's not about the history. It's about my dad summed it up the other day. He goes, we're eating pozole in my office. He goes, Mijo, he goes, you know why I'm so excited about Thanksgiving? He goes, because I get to see all my family together. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
that's Thanksgiving.
Well, because we also remember having those empty seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact is this, is I've lost enough people in my life to know that one day somebody's going to be missing.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. You know what I mean? So every time, like, I tell her, but every time it's Christmas or Resurrection, when all of our family's together, I always step back and I just take this picture. Because someday somebody's not going to be there, or me, you know?
Yeah.
And I just breathe it in. Breathe that moment in. Because, you know, you don't get it back. There's no second chances.
That's good.
My brother just moved to. When did Danny move?
August?
Yeah. So my brother just moved to Idaho. Retired. Him and my sister-in-law took off to Idaho. They're done with Cali.
Wow.
This and that, whatever. Good for them, dude. You know what I'm saying? So excited for him. Most of our marriage, my brother and my sister were not around.
Yeah.
Division was very common growing up. It's always been common. It took my dad to die for my family to get back together.
Wow.
And it's sad to say that, but it's true, huh?
And the type of division, so that you guys understand, is that his sister and brother did not go to his dad's funeral.
Oh.
That type of division.
They didn't speak to each other for 15 years until he died. And then it's been on and off it was on and off for many of years with me. And the reason why I started off with my brother leaving is because we just the last few years we've all been together for certain holidays, whatever it is through the year. Because of my family being down there and my in-laws being up here, it's like, okay, you get Resurrection Day, I get Thanksgiving, and you get Christmas, that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's what I'm always grateful for. I'm just grateful that no matter what we've all been through, with everything that we've been through, I'm just so grateful that we are all together. Whether he lives in Idaho, my sister is in SoCal, I'm up here, my mom is out there with my sister, like we're all together. We all joke around with each other.
Text each other a million times a day.
Yeah, it's on. Especially during all of this through Kamala and Uncle Trump. Like, it's just like, man, so many things, and it's absolutely amazing. I don't even have to. Yeah, I think that's how we should end the podcast. By the way, It goes without saying, but I am gonna say it is what I'm thankful for this year is the new journey. The new journey with God, the unknown. God made me really pay attention to the unknown. I was so excited for the unknown. Started thinking about how I can fix things, and then I got scared. It screwed me all up, and God took me all the way back to the unknown. And this woman here has been on this journey with me for so long. And then my children, man, and us, man, we've been through some stuff, and we are all together, man. That's my thankful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm Thanksgiving.
I'll go next. I'm thankful. We'll end it with thankfulness.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that there's a lot of new things happening. Just all together with my older brother. He was out on the streets. He recently quit. He was in addiction for like 5 years. And so he's staying with us. So he's a brand new person, and there's new things happening for him, for our son, for us, for business, for here at this church, and just all together. There's so many new things happening. I'm super, super excited that Tino's in a place where this is welcomed. Because before I felt like people wanted to put a muzzle on him, and here you give him a platform to share.
Like, you know what you're doing?
I know. I'm like,
Maybe I don't know him long enough.
You know what's been awesome listening to him, listening to all of them every week. I'm faithful there every Tuesday I'm there.
yeah. Well, I'm thankful for the platform that
Yeah.
you give.
Thank you,
Yeah.
because trust me when I say I'm not used to hearing that.
Go ahead, share.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm just thankful for his ever keeping power. I'm just thankful for, you know, my husband, my family, for, of course, our children. And I'm just thankful that we wake up every day, just given another day to just be able to just have air in our lungs and the, you know, and regardless of what happens, you know, of course I didn't shut off my phone.
Of course.
Sorry,
Talk about-
guys.
There you go.
And it's your eye doctor. It's Jessica.
Anybody got any mud and spit? We'll fix those things
Jessica,
right
why
now.
are you calling Jessica?
Like that.
Anyways, I'm thankful for Jessica too for getting his eyes all together. But yes, I'm thankful for all of that, and for just another year that we're gonna be able to just get all of this on the right track, you know, so that we can be able to get our life in order, our marriage.
coming. It's
I know
coming.
it's coming. I know it is. I know it is. You know, I have my family in Southern California, and I would love to be able to do something similar to what you guys are doing and be able so that I can be able to also build my traditions as well. I would really, really love to be able to do that, because I love what you guys do with your family every year, you know, and I miss my family. I really, really do miss my family. I don't get a chance to spend much time with my family at all, and I miss them a lot. And I would love David to be part of that more often so that I can see my kids and be able to see my family as well. So I would love to work something out so that way we can be able to alternate and be able to see them as well too. So I'm gonna pray for that. So keep that in prayer for me too.
And Eduardo said it had to be my wife that called. He's
Yeah.
watching right now.
Yes.
Yeah, he just messaged. Had to be my wife. Laugh out loud.
She works for a optometrist.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
We
That's
never
it.
got to talk about the children.
What children?
Throwing
Our
them under the
children.
bus.
We wanted to throw them under the bus.
We could just shotgun that
What do you
real quick
call
in the
under
end.
the bus? What does that
Just
mean?
talk trash about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't take us long.
Little Angel's moody. You said let's throw him under the trash. Like, he's moody. He gets a period. Like,
Abraham
once
can be
a
bossy
month.
sometimes.
Not that angel. Little
Look
angel.
at him,
Little
look at him,
Angel,
look at him,
Angel,
look at
yeah,
him.
like, I never know.
They're
what
both
he-
like,
I walk on eggshells with him in the
Oh,
morning
okay.
time when we wake up. I'm like, oh,
what's David's turn to be thankful?
Bossy with a purpose, Abraham. But you do a great job. You're amazing at what you do.
That's not what she said when you walked outside. You can find it in the recording.
and
So-
Justin's just.
My,
for me, huh?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Not good. What?
I was gonna say I got my youngest one, man. He's the baker, and he's the baker. And
Which one's the candlestick maker?
They both said it at the same time.
He's the baker, and if you take out if you touch whatever he's doing, oh man.
Does he
And
know the
like
Muffin
the
Man?
dough and stuff, like dough.
The
No.
Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Yes, like he made brownies the other day and he had a timer on and I think he was in the shower. So our oldest son was visiting and he took them out and he didn't let them chill or cool.
Started
And he,
cutting them.
yeah, and he took them out of the pan and started cutting them. And so
Oh, he
Yeah.
lost.
He got
his
mad.
our
head.
son came out. And then
Yeah.
he's very expressive like his father. So he's like, "What are you doing?" Like it's the end of the world. Like
You know what? It is. I'm a baker, so you know what? You don't mess with somebody's baked goods.
Yeah.
where
You
our
just
other
don't do
son was
that.
like, the timer went off. I was
helping you
taking
out.
it out so they wouldn't burn. And he's like, but I set it for like 5 minutes early because I knew I was going to be in the shower.
I've learned so much about Tino in this counseling session.
This intervention.
Yeah.
Well, it's David's turn.
So David,
Sorry.
your turn.
Well, first, That's messed up that you grew up with a lot of division. I want to say something about that real quick.
Okay.
But I will say this advice that our dad gave us ever since we were little was he would always get us boys together, and he'd say, "Someday you guys are gonna get married, and someday those wives
Mom and
are
Dad. Mom, both.
they're gonna be different from each other, and you better promise me that whether they get along or not, do not let no women come into this family to separate you brothers, because once we're gone, you are all you have."
Yep.
And I say that because you have sons,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that way there won't be division the way you grew up with,
Right.
you know, and you tell them now, you know, and my he continually reminded us always, do not ever let, you know, somebody come in the family and,
I
and
was
break
little
the family
hearing
up, you know, and that's something I always kept, you know, so I'm very close to my brothers, very, very, none of that division now. You know, and that's unheard of.
That don't mean we don't get on each other's nerves.
Of course, yeah, no, I get that. You know, you just say things that your parents say,
Yeah.
not even knowing that you're doing it, and like, ooh, every once in a while I'll catch myself be like, dang, dude, that's my dad, or even worse, it's like, ooh, that's my mom, you know, and it's just like, I told her, please always hold me accountable. Even in our crazy, it was like, please hold me accountable. I don't want to have what I grew up in with my children. I don't. And so I've told them, hey, you know what? We're gonna disagree quite a bit, especially because I'm your dad. And they all understand it today, because again, I don't have babies or young little ones like you guys.
Yeah.
Bless your heart, by the way. But the thing about it is like. We've had our issues,
Yeah.
but you know what? They're still going to be with me on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're going to be at my house on Christmas, because you know what? God does what God does, and as long as I leave it with God, and every single time I've gotten into anything with my children, it's always been my control. But as long as I know that it's there, you go ahead. It works out good. So yes,
But other than that,
It's your turn, cowboy.
I think I'm thankful for cowboy boots. They've changed my life. No, I'm thankful for my family, ministry. I love this. You know, I love it. I love it. I want to do this till I die. You know, I love ministry. I love God. I love serving Him.
yes.
I love pleasing God. I don't do it to please people. If I did it to please people, I would have quit a long time ago. You know, I just want to please Him. You know, and I pray that I can be that, not only as a pastor, but as a husband, as a father. I think I'm still learning that. I'm trying to. It's hard to come back and father, and then your kids are adults now.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's a hard thing, and you know, I don't have a gauge, because I think sometimes when people that have raised their kids from day one, they have a gauge of how to be a parent. I don't have that gauge, you know, so I'm trying to figure it out myself, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that all my kids are in my life.
Man.
And grateful for all the people that are coming to the church, you know, the people that have been here for a long time, people that are new, you know, grateful to my family, to my brothers, you know, to everybody, you know. Just looking at Abraham, grateful to him also, you know, he has become a son, the type of son that I've always wanted. And that's not taking away nothing from my boys, you know what I mean, because I love my boys, you know, but I appreciate Abraham too. You know, his other brother gets on my nerves, and man, what Abraham does, the other one doesn't do, so they kind of balance out.
On live TV.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to just everything. You know, whoever watches this, and you know, I watched yesterday. I got sad yesterday because I saw this preacher that I was watching. This preacher, I guess, where Kamala spoke at, and it was like a circus circus church, and I'm just seeing this wedding he had. I think second or third wedding he had, and he's like, yeah, I cheated on my wife, Like it's crazy, and he's still in ministry, still everything, still like nothing changed.
Are you sure it wasn't Barnum and Bailey Circus?
Probably. Anyways, we're sitting there watching this, right? As we're stressing once again on how we're gonna pay rent in a few days, and I'm stressing, and we're watching, and just this elaborate everything, and I'm just like, those moments you're like, God, really? Like why? Why? Why am I freaking out? Because I try to hold it in so she don't freak out. Because I try to be the oak tree, and there's times where I just want to scream and yell, and I can't, because if I do, this whole family will become unhinged, And I'm just like, but then at the same time, I just settle my heart, because I'm just like, Lord, I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad to another Thanksgiving is going to happen. Another time of family to be together. Another time, and the ministry's here, and people are here, and people are getting fed, I hope. And I just wake up every day, because for many years I woke up with the locker in a cell, and I wake up and I'm in my house, and I love my house, and it might not be the best house in the world. I just told her last week, I said, this is the best house I've ever had.
And I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
this house is falling apart.
And she'll say that sometimes, and I'm just like, this is the best house I've ever had in my whole life. So I'm just grateful all the way around.
The way we women are sometimes, like if it's, I feel like I'm not there enough right now lately, and I'm like, it's not clean the way I want it to be cleaned, and I just kind of feel like I'm not here enough, I'm not doing enough, and I'm just like, my house is not what I want it to be. And he's like, but this is the best house I've had.
It is, I ain't lying.
So, and he's sitting there saying the most beautiful thing, and I'm like, but I feel like I'm not keeping it up right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is your Christmas tree up yet?
I
Thanksgiving yet.
haven't put up a Christmas tree in 3 years. You know why? You know why? Because I decorate here, and by the time I decorate here, I'm too tired to even do anything there.
And you spend more time here.
And I spend more time here, so I don't even have time to do anything.
You don't want to have 2 PG&E bills anyways.
So after Thanksgiving, she goes all out here. Well, you guys haven't seen it here, huh?
No.
So I just don't even have
Snow
time.
machines, reindeer.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, right. No, I don't do all that.
Straight Lily
She
with
makes me
Marshall.
preach in the Santa suit.
Is it a Marshall Christmas?
That would be
Actually,
great.
he's mad because the gala is gonna be the white and neutrals this year, and he says, "Are you gonna make me look like the snowman Michelin man or whatever?"
I never said snowman. You just said that.
I said Michelin man.
Because I want to have an all-white party. So we ain't going Diddy up in here. Yeah.
Bad things happen when he goes
Bad things happen with white parties. Oh, heck
But
no.
it's so pretty.
I'm gonna have an all-white neutral party this year. If that's what it's gonna be.
Well, you guys didn't come to the gala last year.
It was like tuxedos and
It's
gowns
like
last
super
year.
nice.
Yeah, last year was all gowns and stuff. You're going to your
He
prom.
said no Diddy up in here.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's your turn, Diana.
Okay, so gosh, man, I think I'm just I know I'm so grateful just for the whisper of God's voice.
Amen.
Like, man, just he's so gentle. He's such a gentleman, and that's what I need for him to get my attention. It's just that beautiful whisper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to a podcast focused on the family, and they were talking about marriage, and they had said something that I was like, okay, this is amazing, but yet sad. And he said, we were listening about marriage, and I always try to make sure in my day to listen to something about marriage, because sometimes our husbands do get put back on the back burner. And he said, you have to remember that your marriage has an end date. I was like, oh my gosh. It's gonna end. One of us is gonna die, if not in
We're
a
going
car
together
accident
at the
together.
same time.
Hopefully it's together in a nice warm bed. But that changed me. That I began to look at him in just a different way. And that's what I mean about just the whispers of God in here and there. In whatever it is that I'm in, if it's in the kitchen washing dishes and I'm listening to a part, there's just his voice right there. You know, there's an end date to your marriage. And another one that I had heard was, you know, always with you when you're with your partner, instead of saying, you know, I'm sorry, say, will you forgive me? Instead of saying I'm sorry. So all of these little just nuggets, these gold nuggets that the Lord's been just sharing with me and pouring with me. And here's another thing that I've struggled with all my life is fear. And I've never wanted to take responsibility in anything because of fear. I didn't want it to go bad, and then it just, and, you know, selfish. It becomes selfish not looking at it, you know, seeing it. And I came across that scripture that I've heard my whole life: "Who the Son has set free is free indeed." But there is God again in a whispering time moment, and He said, "Diana, do you really understand what I'm trying to tell you? Who the Son has set free is free indeed." Diana, you are free already. Walk in it. Stop fearing, because it paralyzes you and you shut up. And I'm like, okay, who the Son has set free, I'm the son, the daughter. I am really free indeed in this fear. I'm free from you, fear. I am free from you. And so I just began walking in even this right here. This would have scared me a year ago, and I would have said, "You're crazy. No way. You guys do it and have them do it, and I'm cool."
She just found out last night that it was my idea when I was like, "Hey guys."
Oh, really?
She was like, "You did what?"
Yeah.
I thought the fear started when you came over, when you guys were dating.
And
I
you're
put
watching
I put the
the
documentary on. So real
Yeah.
quick before, this is my introduction when I just started getting to know her when they're dating, because she wasn't allowed to date at all, nothing.
Or
So
watch TV.
yeah,
They
so
didn't have a TV in their house. They didn't have the one I definitely.
So they
had.
No, I grew up with no TV.
their dating was between church services, because they would have a service and then have another one later, you know, like, and so I wasn't saved or nothing. I was at the house. I was probably on house arrest or something. I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know why I was at my mom's,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you were on ankle bracelets.
oh, was, yeah, so
because we watched it together on
yeah,
Saturday.
so they came over between services, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this documentary.
No, we had watched it the day before.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was like, got this documentary. These kids, man, they went out to the woods, and they never found them, but they found their footage, and then they put it together.
Blair Witch
And,
Project.
yeah, she's like, really? I was like, yeah, it's a Blair Witch. You want to watch it? And she goes, yeah, they never found them. I was like, no, check it out. So I pop it in, dude. That's my introduction to getting
she
to know
was
her.
scared.
She
out of
was
her mind.
crying by the end of the movie because these poor kids, and we start laughing.
And she had to go help and lead worship.
It's like, I still think about that.
I could not worship. I had to sing, and I was just thinking about those poor kids in the woods. Like, somebody's got to do something.
We're like, it's just a movie.
Yeah, but
we didn't
later
I didn't tell
you
her till the
told
next
me
day.
that.
That was before reality TV. That was before
Oh,
anything,
yeah.
you know? Like, that was unheard of.
Where did-
That was in
98.
That was
Like 2000.
yeah, because we already had Isaac. It was like
about that
No, it was
time.
at the end of
Maybe 99.
99.
Maybe-
99.
Probably 99.
I think 99.
yeah. No, you know what? You
We
might
weren't
have been
married.
down there
No, we
visiting.
weren't married. We got married.
The 99, I was on ankle bracelet. 99.
Yeah, it was 99 because we were dating in 99.
For a
we didn't get
year.
married to the end of the year.
Yeah, probably 99.
I was a bad boy.
So I,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
2 of them, don't you? I'm thankful that tomorrow we get to celebrate 25 years
Amen.
without
Yeah.
having time and even, to describe what that took. I'm grateful. I am grateful for, my son being here, Angel, who's watching Ezra right now at home. There's so much, even, David, looking like just talking about our family, I'm just remembering all these different things, I remember when leading up to your court dates that we would meet at Mom's house and Reuben would go, and he was faithful and we would pray as a family because we weren't together. And that was a hard time. And now it's like, okay, we've gotten past that time now. And I'm just grateful for our family, our nephews, our nieces. Now that, you know, I look back at our I take this, when I say pride, I mean good, in a good way. I'm very proud that our grandparents believed in the Lord. They spoke in tongues. They read the word. Our parents spoke in tongues, believed in the word, shared that with us, you know, and our kids on the 4th generation. I look at my wife's side. Her grandparents believed in the Lord, spoke in tongues, believed the word of God. Her parents, you know, and just kind of that, not everybody, I understand now at 47 how rare some of the things.
Different.
I didn't realize it at the time. You know, it was just, you're just in the moment rebuilding, but I don't got time to pay attention to what everybody else was doing. You know, and we reconciled our marriage through Burger King.
What?
There you go. You got it.
Remember? Because we were absolutely broke. There was times I had to recycle cans to have gas money to get to counseling in Castro Valley. And on our way back, all we had was we would each buy a garden salad for $1 at Burger King, and we would split.
Value menu.
And we would split
The
the chicken nuggets for $1. We'd spend $3 in change, and we couldn't stand one another in the moment. But we purposefully would stop in Dublin at Burger King, and we would just sit there and sometimes snarl at each other.
Delicious.
Is that where your anniversary dinner is going to be?
Absolutely. And
That's what you should do.
it should.
It ain't $1 no more though.
It's like $17.25 now.
Yeah,
You ain't getting nothing for no
But just-
$3.
But you know, just I'm thankful, David, being here with you guys. I'm really, I like almost a kiddish excitement
That's exciting.
of what I sense in my spirit. I know that sounds, I'm not trying to be all overly spiritual, but I mean that, of what I sense moving forward. And even just the text messages and the phone calls after I said what I said on the podcast, of people calling me on the back end. And Isaac's probably watching right now. You know what he told me, Isaac from Portland?
Goodwin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
goes,
I
it's
love
about
them.
time. We've been praying for that for a long time.
Amen.
And I saw a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours. And I just laughed and I said, yeah. And I'm grateful for my kids, grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for this episode 17. I watched you guys listen to episode 1. He called me, just goes, what do you think? You know, check it out. And I listened to it and I was like, dude, that was
Oh yeah,
pretty-
you weren't on episode 1.
No, I wasn't on. And then he goes, yeah, me and Sharon are talking. And Sharon goes, you know who would be good for this? Your brother always likes to talk and, you know, throw Angel on there. And I was like, well, are you sure? And so that was episode 2 and we've been off and running.
That's awesome.
And so I'm grateful. I'm excited for where this church is at. I'm grateful and excited where our family is at. I'm grateful and excited that we get to start over, and with Ezra.
Yeah.
You know, as a 3-year-old.
He was ready to go though after 2 worship songs.
Nah, he really was. He really literally packed his backpack on Sunday.
After 2 songs, he gets his backpack on. And he had his worship.
He's
on.
like his dad. We've had enough. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just say something. I came out here to go to the restroom in the middle of you were preaching. And when I walked out, everybody was sitting down watching the screen. I was like, it was beautiful. Like I was just like, I could bring Ezra out here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think about
No,
that.
they have it a big screen right
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so if he gives us trouble in there, I can come out
I
here.
could beat him out here.
There you
No,
go.
we're not gonna beat him.
No, I didn't say that.
No.
Biblical.
But
It's
I was like-
biblical.
I loved
But
it.
even-
Well, that's what some of the every room has as
The-
well. If
the
you take them
sermon's
to
playing.
nursery, you can take them to the nursery and
The
he can
nursery's
play.
gonna take some time to get used to with Tanya and people, you know,
Yeah.
kids.
But yeah, here too.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, Oh.
But yeah, a
Did you
lot
see
of the
how people are
moms.
talking and not paying attention?
No,
Everybody was
quiet.
paying attention. I
a
was
lot
like,
of the moms will come out here and they'll watch. And
I
they'll-
seen a brother right there with the baby. I was like, okay, I have another room to go
But,
to.
but you know what? To all of those people that are watching, that are listening, and
You.
whether they've been here, maybe those that are members, and sometimes maybe they've been here for a while and you forget that when I walk, when I'm here, and I've been in other churches, I've spoken other places, and everything else. You have that vibe of it being together. That's cool. But you don't want it too together. You want people that still have messes to feel comfortable when they walk in.
that they're real.
That is genuine.
It's genuine.
That that they can come and go, okay, can I show you my mess and you won't freak out when I show you. And that's so rare in a maturity level and spirit of a place, because it's just not welcomed everywhere. And as the more time you are in Christianity, different ministries, different churches, and everything else, and I'm just really excited for what when I told David, I said, David, I don't want a pastoral role. I just want to help. I want to serve.
I think we were talking about that the other day, how, we intentionally don't want to be those pastors who go to a green room and can't be ourselves with people. We just want to be real with people. We don't want to run to a room where we're not out here getting to know people. We want to know your child's name. We want to know people. We want to be able to intertwine with the families and know our families. We don't want it to ever get to a point where we don't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And now, it's like there is new people coming, but, if we don't know you, come say hello to us. We may not be able, because there's two of us or there's just a few of us, we may not be able to get to everybody, but at least if you see us, come say hello to us, because we want to get to know you. It's a big family here. I think David says it all the time. It's like it's a house church, but in a big building.
You know what would be a really good slogan for the church? Is that there's a slogan I've heard. Maybe it's like before
come where
we're
everybody knows your name.
church. Oh gosh, how would it go?
House church.
Before we're church, we're family.
That'd be a good slogan. I think that would fit here.
Oh, I
Or what's the other
thought where
Jesus is the
everybody
pastor of
knows
his
your
church.
name.
Cheers.
We have a seat. We have a seat with your name
Oh,
on
that's
it.
another one.
Let me say this to my brother.
House
Is
church and a
through
big church.
through the parenting ups and downs,
Adam says cheers.
to the parenting up and down, David. One of the things that I think we both have said this.
What parenting up and down?
You, as far as just with the kids, your own
Oh.
kids, and all of that, all those different seasons of your life. That it was we had said it several years ago. We said, it's almost like you grew as a parent through pastoring this church. And the gaps and the times you missed, God gave that to you in a different angle, in a different way, to learn the capacity to do that. Because what I have watched over these years, and I hope your kids are watching, my nephews and nieces, is that I have watched you. It was different because when they were little, it was different. But I've also watched you at this season of their life, over the last few years, learn how to maneuver them in close. And that, hands down, I honor you for that, because that is hard when you've missed so much time. It's a lot of humility, it's a lot of serving, and it's a lot of being fearful because of the rejection side. And I have had the privilege to see that. And I'm thankful for that.
You know what Smurf said the other day?
Hmm.
Matt Bubbles got a really cool dad.
What made him say that? What did I do?
I don't know. He's been hanging out with
I
you.
don't know who was watching this, but they have been plotting away to pick up Bobo one day
Yeah,
and just tell him let's go hang out and not tell him where they're going
yeah.
and show up on a Sunday morning.
Oh, I hope they can do
Put
it.
them in the car. But I know it's late.
Yeah, it's late.
We're closing this up.
Can we close out in prayer?
Yeah. Did you want Tina? Where did you break?
Oh no, man! I was just gonna say I didn't want to leave it without saying, for the this is 17, right? We're on
Yep.
17. So for the 17, welcome to the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, and this is for the camera, all the people that have been with us in these 17 episodes, there's much more to come. There's much more to see. There's always transparency here. You can't get real like this. Everybody has a script. This is off the top, and I think you saw that. And most of all, what I do want to say, and I'll let David finish it off. But the thing about it is we want to say from us and our household, and from the rest of them, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Amen.
And let's not forget that no matter what it looks like, we really, truly, truly, truly have to give thanks to the Almighty, because one of the biggest things that my wife hears me say is, without the breath in our lungs, you can't even complain. So that's from us, our household, to y'all. We thank you guys very, very much.
Yes,
And I
happy
thank you very
Thanksgiving.
much for, like Mickey says, for letting me take off the muzzle and just be me.
And to my sister-in-law Stephanie who's watching, of course we're grateful for you, Stephanie. Of course.
My sister.
She texted me.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving to you all.
Hi,
And
Steph.
yes, just happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Want to close it out in prayer?
Yeah, before I pray, I just want to remind you guys, we do this every two. This is a special because it was Thanksgiving. Usually it's us three guys, and every Tuesday at 4:30, we go on, talk about different things that happen in the world, and hopefully you subscribe or watch or put the reminder, whatever it is, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So
And shout out to our parents who are watching.
Mina Ruben.
Yes,
We
yes,
love you.
Mina
Love you,
Ruben.
Mom.
They're
Love you, Dad.
faithful
Love you, love you.
watchers. They're YouTubers now.
I know. Did you see that?
Yes, they're
YouTubers. I'm
faithful
so happy for
YouTubers
them.
now.
Abraham, Justin, thank you guys very, very much, man.
Yes.
We truly, truly appreciate you guys.
they deserve AM/PM burgers.
Yes.
Oh, dang,
Thank
that's a
you. Woo-hoo.
They don't make the double burgers anymore. They're
They
always
don't?
single.
Yes, thank you guys so much for
Let's
your
go,
hard
Trump.
work
We gotta
and
get our
dedication.
burgers back down.
All right, let's pray.
All right, let's pray. Lord God, we thank you for this time, this moment, this time of just fellowship and sharing, Lord God, as we enter into a holiday season, Lord. And I thank you so much, Lord God, because those of us that have families still, we need to remind us, Lord God, to embrace it. Embrace those that we have around us, Lord God. And I thank you, Lord God. Bless their homes, bless their families, bless their marriages, all those that are watching, Lord God. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to share
Yes.
and to just spend time with each other and with those that are watching online. We thank you so much, Lord. In Jesus' name,
Jesus, my
amen.
son. Amen.
All right, guys, it's
Amen.
time.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Are you really doing this?
I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. Oh my god. Qué vergüenza.
Come on, get with it, Diana. Oh my god.
All right.
Peace
Bye.
out.
I did it for you because